Tauscher.
I got a hunch this isn't going to be concise either.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio.
I would say that you are pretty easygoing. You're actually probably more easygoing than I am.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, you're not easygoing at all.
Hey!
On 100.5 ESPN, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
It is what is today, Thursday? I think it's Thursday edition. The Jaire Alexander Dunzo. Well, maybe he could be back for the Super Bowl on his birthday edition. Rashawn Gary is a Pro Bowler, but Elton Jenkins is not edition. Okay. And the what are you doing against the Bears? Mark Tauscher, you have been chosen. Matt LaFleur has had a appendectomy, since those seem to happen on emergency basis. Hey, we need a coach for Sunday. We're going to bring Tausch in as the head coach. Are you playing your guys? And if so, how much? Edition of Wilde and Tausch. On 94.5 ESPN Milwaukee, 100.5 ESPN Madison, 1430 ESPN Beaver Dam, ESPNWisconsin.com, the ESPN app, your Alexa smart speaker, streaming live video, Twitter, Facebook, YouTube, and of course everything you need on WisconsinOnDemand.com and the Wisconsin On Demand app. I'm Jason Wilde in Green Bay. Jesse Nelson is in the Everlight Solar ESPN Madison studios. And from his undisclosed location. With old girl serving as the IT person, framing up our shots so we at least have some idea of what shirt he's wearing, as opposed to just getting his tiny little head in the bottom corner. It is the Packers Hall of Famer. It is Mark Tauscher. Tausch, good morning. How are you?
I'm good. How is this?
You look great.
Video looks good.
Yeah, you look amazing.
Looks great. Best one yet.
Great. I'm just nervous about how it's going to sound, but we should be all dialed in. And Jason, to answer your question about what I would do, I'm playing everybody. Anybody that's not injured is playing Sunday. That's what I'm doing.
All right, well, let's dive into that. We got plenty to get into, but let's dive into that first then, because I am curious.
So what else you got to get into? Because I'm curious what you want to
Well, we got to get into Jaire Alexander and the Pro Bowl.
The college football playoffs should have only been 6 teams. Yeah, there's a lot of other stuff that I'd like to get into.
Yeah, they should not have let the top-seeded, undefeated team in the tournament based on how they performed.
Your poor little ducks got led to slaughter yesterday, didn't they? Yes, they did. That's for Eleanor. She loves that.
Yeah, they did get blown out. I was, for those that don't know about my fandom, which doesn't really exist, that didn't bother me as much as the fact that Ohio State did win. Like, whoever that Ohio State was playing, if they win that convincingly, I just don't like seeing Ohio State win.
But yeah, before we get into the Packers and playing guys, here's what I would say. You could still have that integrous regular season for college football, as I have been so adamantly proponent of, and still have a good playoff. You went overboard with 12. I think everybody now can see that, right? No offense to the Boise State,
Arizona State, baby, Arizona State.
That was fun.
I want to see if you're going to really put the conference tournaments in play like they have. the conference championship.
Uh-huh.
Those 5 get in. You get 1 at large, and that's it. Ohio State played its way out when they got throttled at home against Michigan. Period. End of story. They should not. Their regular season wasn't good enough to be a real, if you want to have a real serious conversation. They didn't even qualify for the Big Ten championship game. So I think all of this, yes, they're a really good team. Really good teams. Most really good teams don't win championships. So Oregon had a better regular season. They got screwed. Period. End of story. Finn. They got screwed. So all of this other stuff, if you want to look at it and say, well, you need more. I don't know. I think the numbers will be fine on all this, but most of us, I think, are going to end up with college football fatigue by the 20th of January. I believe that's going to happen. And you want to still stand alone and have that regular season be real meaningful. All right, fine. You fought me on 2. You fought me on 4. I'll give you 6, and at most I'm giving you 8. That's at most.
Barry Alvarez and I wanted 8. Remember Barry Alvarez and I wanted 8.
I'm going to tell you this. It's only going to go up. It's not going to go down because the money's going to go up. You go to 16. That's what's going to happen. But what we've seen, when Michigan beat Ohio State, that should have been end fin wrap for them. They should have went and played in the CarQuest Bowl and had a nice time and been done. That's what should have happened. Instead, they get a great matchup. They go. I give them credit. They've bounced back. But that's not how this is supposed to work. And now, unfortunately, your Ducks are slaughtered. They're getting filleted, and we're going to have some crusty, really, you got to get crust on that breast when you make a good duck. And that's where they're going to be sitting. They're going to be sitting in people's sandwiches. That's where they're at.
Meanwhile, we'll be feasting on more Buckeyes as they have advanced. I don't know, crust on the breast I was not expecting that today. So, enough about college football. Let's talk about why Coach Tausch is playing
targeting rule. What a garbage call. I mean, what are we doing?
All right.
With that?
Hey, Ed Helms. We'll do why Tausch thinks they should play their guys.
Jason,
next segment. Let's keep talking college ball.
Hey, no. As you were putting a bow on it, I think you can't talk about what we saw yesterday without saying that too. Because we have been the targeting rule in college football is idiotic as it is. You should get I want player safety. You don't suspend guys for a week down the road. Okay? They're out for that game. And if you want, start hammering the programs with a fine. But this whole concept, now that players are getting paid, fine them. This whole concept of, well, we're not going to call it because it's at the end of the game and it could turn. That was target to the definition of it. Call it, and the game's over, and your precious little Longhorns are getting fried up with the duck breasts.
So yesterday, and look, I have nothing against Doug Gottlieb. I would like to see UW Green Bay basketball be good.
He's not going to be the guy.
Friends who care deeply about the program.
Yeah, he's not the guy.
But he tweeted again.
From 3 to 6, he's the guy. But not.
Take Adam Schefter's advice and stop tweeting, because yesterday he tweeted the video of the targeting and said, "Is this targeting? Yes. Do you call it in this point in the game? Of course not." That tweet has since been deleted by Coach Gottlieb, in part because Terry McAuley, the former NFL official, and I think, is he ESPN's guy, Jesse? He's one of the rules
McCauley
analysts
is
now,
NBC's guy, I believe.
NBC.
Yeah, he's on the Peacock broadcasts. Yeah.
Terry McAuley quote.
That's why I haven't heard it.
Terry McAuley quotes the tweet from Doug Gottlieb and said, "This is now the worst take I've seen." So when you're getting called out by former NFL officials, I don't blame Doug for deleting that tweet. But that's what the targeting rule brings, right? Is that idea that it's a controversially applied rule. And the fact that it was not applied there is controversial because it should have been applied.
I actually think they do a really good job of acknowledging it, reviewing it, and then sometimes overturning it.
I like the review.
I think they actually do a really good job of all that, but targeting's targeting. And I want you want it out of the game. I'm all for player safety, even though I've now entered into the entertain me era of my life. That was targeting. And I don't know what Gottlieb got. Doug has got to just figure out, is the 3 to 6 shift in his life the most important thing? Because it seems like it. You can't do it. We've already had our Doug Gottlieb discussion more than I've ever wanted to. So that's the bottom line on it. And
this didn't have to be a Gottlieb conversation. He was just saying the targeting.
I didn't bring it up. In fairness, I didn't.
I think you did.
And Ed.
Just wait. I brought Doug Gottlieb up.
You brought you brought the targeting.
How does that have to do with a middling coach at UWGB? Not even middling. He
tweeted about the targeting.
What does that have to do with
That's
targeting?
how it got there, and Terry McCauley called him out on it.
No. Jesse, I want you to apologize to me. I'm not going to start 2025 like we finished 24. I didn't bring up Doug Gottlieb. Check the tape. I had nothing to do. I talked duck breasts. I talked that was a bad call. And then I said, let's move on. And Jason brought up Doug Gottlieb.
We're going to make 2025 the year we actually check the tape. That's going to be my resolution.
Check the
this
tape.
year.
No,
We're
we're
check
not.
the tape in 25.
Let's see. Let's
2025 on Wilde and Tausch. # check the tape.
Yeah, let's see who brought up Doug Gottlieb. I think you're going to be solely upset when it finds out it's your buddy, Jason J. Wilde. Okay?
Scattaboo.
I brought up...
Yeah, he's fun, isn't he? Mike Allstott's Jr. right there.
Scattaboo.
I would love to see him in the G&G. How fun would he be as a G&G'er?
Sleeper every week.
Are you done?
Ed Helms on The Office. God, I can't believe how bad he was. If you check the tape, Tausch brought up targeting. I brought up Doug Gottlieb's tweets, and then someone on the panel, who will remain nameless, then began discussing the viability of doing a radio show and coaching a Division I basketball team.
Yeah, but I would have never brought up – I'm never bringing Doug Gottlieb up with this conversation. I'm telling you that right now.
You're right. There's no – that's 1,000%.
All right, hey, Jesse, keep track of check the tapes. Old T1, Wilde 0. We'll keep a running tally, and I got a hunch – Jason's not going to be proven as correct as he likes to think he is.
We'll check the tape. I look forward to the future tape checks.
I love this check the tape.
I like my chances.
Great idea.
But by the way,
I love this idea.
Let's stop and be realistic for a second.
Okay.
The amount of extra effort that this will require, unless Jesse is
he's got to do it in real time.
No, what he's got to do is he's got to give somebody else the job, right?
I think he finds a YouTube dweller and sees if they'll take this over.
More free labor. The
Check
the Tape Academy.
Firm. Yes. Yep. The analytics firm has already got their hands full. Jaire and Klinkster.
Do you want a chance? Do you want a chance at the Wilde and Tausch Hall of Fame? Sign up to be our check the tape guy and improve your chances by scouring the YouTube videos to go back and figure out if someone said
something. Wilde and Tausch Sky Judge. Real time, checking it and moving on.
But we have to get WAD in there. It's got to end up with the WAD, Wisconsin On Demander, because that's where you can get it accessed easiest. So the water, and you could do it weekly, or you could just give, if somebody's willing to commit to a month term, we could do this like a congressperson, or that's how I think we look at this.
Term limits?
They're going to be called, yes, I'm all for term limits in everything. WAD City, something WAD. So in a fun way.
All right,
that's what this needs to be.
I'm here to tell you we are not putting the word WAD in this person's title.
It's the acronym for
You're
Wisconsin
being kind of a
On Demand.
JWAD, actually.
No.
All right.
Jesse, what do you think of WAD?
Not the best.
This is going to be a long year, huh? It's going to be a long year. I'm already 1-0, and I'm fighting all the powers that be, but I'm all for it. I can do it.
Now would be the time. Hey, let's talk about why Tausch would play his starters against the Bears. No, let's do that next after Tausch tells us.
I'm nervous.
Oh, boy. It's a new month and a new year.
New year. This is big time. Happy New Year. means a lot of rough days ahead for those who suffer from SAD. We're going not WAD, but SAD, seasonal affective disorder. Plenty of gray and frigid days on the horizon where we all just want to be snugly and warm in our house. And Pella is going to make that home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0 interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Again, 0 interest for up to 3 years. Hurry up. You only have until the 31st of January. So visit PellaWI.com today. Certain restrictions do apply.
All right.
Pretty good start, I think. Pretty good start for the Pella read, I think.
I'm sorry. Let me rewind. Let's check the tape. Great job, Tausch. One of your better first times through a read from Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Well done. Is that what you were looking for?
Yeah, looking for a little.
He wasn't listening. He was reading Ryan's
text. He was reading. Yes, exactly. There's no doubt about it. Busted.
He's right. Hey, don't put it up there if you don't want me to read it. Gottlieb. You guys thinking that I was referring to Gottlieb. Get out of here, Ryan. No way was I thinking of Gottlieb.
I would like to get to why Tausch would play his guys against the Bears on Sunday. And then I'd like to get to Jaire Alexander, who is almost certainly donezo for the season after having his knee scoped. I tried to ask Matt LaFleur if, in retrospect, they were wondering why they didn't do the scope right away. That was not an answer that was particularly helpful that I got back from him. So we will get to all of that and more conversation about Doug Gottlieb's coaching style and work schedule next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson to tell you about Madison Weight Loss. It is a new year, and of course, this is a new opportunity for you to achieve the weight loss goal that you're setting out for in 2025. Start strong right away by contacting the team at Madison Weight Loss. I worked with the team last year, and over 60 days, I was able to drop 40 pounds of unnecessary, unwanted fat. It was way more than I expected I would even be able to lose. I went into the program thinking, okay, if I could lose 20, 25, like that would be amazing. And I got to that in the first month. You can lose almost up to a pound a day if you follow the program with Madison Weight Loss. Contact the team. You can schedule a free consultation in person or virtual, MadisonWeightLoss.com. Learn all about the program, what the food plan looks like, all the details, but there's no injections, there's no intense workout regimen. It is simply changing your diet and losing weight the natural, healthy way. Contact the team, MadisonWeightLoss.com, to schedule your free consultation either in person or virtually. MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Lillard lobs up top to Giannis. Oh, what a play!
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, bump set, left side, powers it down. What a rally! And Wisconsin comes out on top.
And now, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Hit to left and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone! Wow!
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 100.5 ESPN.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Every event tells a story, from the first impression to the final moments. Have someone guide your guests through every chapter the way you want the story told. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With a strong presence, great voices, and an award-winning team, trust us to guide, direct, and inform your guests through all the different chapters of the day. For fun, memorable entertainment for any event, please visit us at celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Purchase your tickets, grab some friends, and get to the Sylvie on Monday, February 24th for Andy North Trivia Night, presented by Exact Sciences. Enjoy a fun and inspiring evening of trivia, music, food, and refreshments while helping to raise money for UW Carbone Cancer Center. This fun and inspiring event is hosted by Andy North, and in addition to the trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, and prizes. Doors open at 6 p.m. Visit AndyNorthandFriends.com to buy your tickets. Past year's events have sold out quickly, so get your tickets today.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
Summer will sound a little different on ESPN Madison next year.
Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Jackson Chourio!
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Welcome back to Gottlieb and Tausch. Got to get to practice a little bit later, though. All right, can you please explain to me, because you know me, I am risk averse to the nth degree. Now, do I believe that there'd be some value in playing some of the game with my starters to kind of get a better taste in my mouth? Because you heard Matt LaFleur say that they were sloppy against the Vikings. Mm-hmm. He was not happy with the way they played. So is there value in feeling better about yourselves and kind of getting right going into the playoffs? Absolutely. Am I willing to accept the risk of that? No doubt. If the Dallas Cowboys are down 31-3 at halftime in Big D, and it's pretty clear that the Commanders are not going to lose, am I taking Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs and Jaden Reed and as many of my core players off the field, Xavier McKinney, Pro Bowler Rashawn Gary, off the field in the second half? I am. That's what I'm doing. You tell me what you're doing, Coach Tausch, in a game that could potentially mean nothing in terms of seeding on Sunday against the Bears.
It could, but it also could mean not having to go to Philly. So
no doubt.
I understand all that, but I think one of the things in listening to LaFleur, and if you listen to coaches, it's not as much about what actually happens on Sunday. That's obviously going to be important, but there is something in guys' heads that if LaFleur comes out, and I know today's Thursday, but if he would have come out and told his guys, all right, we're going to play some other guys this week, we're going to get rested for the playoffs, there's an edge that is lost. And this is not a bunch of 30-year-old dudes that are kind of, it's that last push. This is a young ascending group that is just getting started. They just had a bad game, especially 3 quarters of football against the Vikings. Everybody is down. Oh, well, you can't win a big game. And I just think that there is no need. It's not as if we want Jordan Love to be healthy, no question. I'm not saying we're playing the whole game. What I'm saying is you go out there and you set a tone for what we're going to be trying to do in the playoffs. Get that taste out, throttle the Bears in the first half, and then everybody's vibe is good and we're moving forward. But the biggest thing for me is sitting 2 weeks. that's always the conversation you have, even after you get that 1 seed in the bye. This group needs to be peaking.
But they wouldn't be
rolling.
sitting 2 weeks, right? They wouldn't be sitting 2 weeks.
But I'm telling you, in essence, you are, Jason. You're sitting out. You're 13 days without playing a real game. You know what I mean? So, yeah, I get what you're saying, but I don't want any complacency or anything to even creep in. This team is not good enough to withstand some rust and to withhold that. I just think you'd be making a mistake. Now, if it's Josh Jacobs and he's got an ankle, or if there's anything he doesn't feel great about, I'm okay. The only guy I feel like if you want to sit, Josh Jacobs. That would be the guy. Everybody else, Jaden Reed hasn't done hardly anything the last
What
month.
about Jordan Love?
I want Jordan Love playing. I don't think he feels great about how he played.
No, he doesn't.
I think he needs to be out there. He's missed games. The only guy is Josh Jacobs. Everybody else, and if you want to put Xavier McKinney in there as well, I just think there's something with this group that they need to go into this playing football and not having a ton of time off. So, Throttle City, go play your tails off for a half, and then it's deuces. That's what I would love to see on Sunday. I don't know exactly which way they're going to go, but that playoff game is going to be here. It could be a Saturday game. We don't know. And Philly's going to rest their guys. If there's a chance Washington loses, I want to make sure you're pouncing. And I'm not saying play 4 quarters, but I don't think giving them the week to just completely – this is not the time of the year to decompress. This is the time of the year to readdress and to almost refill and say, all right, here we go. And get on that streak like we saw last year, like we saw in 2010, where you're playing really good football, even if you're playing against the Bears, and you try to ride that in where your confidence is back where it needs to be so you can go and shock the world and go beat a Philadelphia on the road, which nobody is going to think is going to be doable.
All right, let's hear what Matt LaFleur had to say, because I think you and I actually agree more than you thought when you said, I'm not saying 4 quarters. Here's how Matt LaFleur addressed it yesterday.
We're playing to win. I mean, we always play to win the game, so I don't see our approach changing.
Can I take the devil's advocate question of that, though?
Sure, absolutely. You can take whatever question you want, Bill.
You can move it up to 6, but chances are you're probably going to be sub unless Mike McCarthy does you a favor. Is there any thought, or is there any upside?
Mike does us a favor.
Is there any upside to giving much of your key players a rest so they're?
Well, here's the deal. Like, I just read off the injury report, and unfortunately, you got a 55-man roster. 53-man roster plus 2 call-ups. So, I mean, guys got to play. So that's the approach that we take here.
So when you go through this process, how do you kind of weigh?
This is a good question here.
How do you personally do? Because there is value to building momentum and playing well, and there is obviously.
Here's what I'll tell you: the right answer is whatever works, and I think you got to have a philosophy on what works best for you. We were in a similar situation a few years back, where we played the guys a half, and lost in the second half, and then we had the bye, and then we lost in the playoffs. So, like, the right answer is whatever works is really what I'll tell you. And I know you're subject to criticism, and if it goes great, then that was the right way to do it. And if it doesn't go the way you want it to, then, you learn from every experience. But I do believe there's a lot of value in terms of especially how we played, I would say, a week ago, where I didn't think it was the cleanest game in any phase. I think there's value to going out there and playing.
I agree with him. What I didn't agree with is whatever works, that's the right decision. Well,
it is, Jason. Unfortunately, that is how it goes.
And I get it, because coaches, whatever they choose, if it doesn't work, then the armchair quarterbacks will say, well, you should have done this instead. Now, I'll be honest, we're doing the show in 21. They did not lose to the San Francisco 49ers because their starters didn't play in the second half of the regular season finale.
Agreed.
That is not why they lost.
They lost.
So anybody who was
fumble.
crushing them for that.
Mercedes Lewis's fumble was, I think, the big reason
because they had a punt blocked.
Right.
There's a lot of things that happened.
Yeah.
There were a lot of things. It wasn't because he pulled his starters at halftime of the finale that year.
Agreed.
And they had the bye. And so he's right. He's going to get criticized by some. My point is, and this is why I think you and I are on the same page, I think the approach he took in 21 was the right one.
Mm-hmm.
To limit the risk, but still accept some of it so you're not going, nobody plays in the finale, then you have the bye, and then you play a playoff game. I agreed with him then, and I didn't kill him for that. They played like garbage, not because of what he did on the last day of the regular season. This is different. There is no bye week, okay? We should know, again, barring comebacks, and Dan Quinn was the head coach of the Atlanta Falcons when they had a 28-3 lead in the Super Bowl, and they found a way to lose. I get it. But Mike McCarthy's team, they're pulling guys out of their homes to play for them at this point. They've shut down CeeDee Lamb. They've shut down a bunch of guys. I don't see them, even if they want to play to save Mike's job, them finding a way to win. So most likely, we're going to know around halftime whether or not the Packers still have a chance at the 6th seed. So once we have some idea, if you want to take Jordan Love out and put in Malik Willis, but I agree with him. The way they played in Minnesota, when you look at it, they did not play well enough. They were sloppy. He was right about that. They need to play some good quality football for a confidence, for a feel good about how we're playing part of the equation. So I think you play him at least till halftime, but then you have to start thinking about, hey, Malik Willis has played pretty well for us. Let's get Jordan out of there. Let's not put him at risk. Yeah. Is that not a fair mentality?
I don't think Green Bay would be favored with Malik Willis at starting quarterback.
I would agree.
So this isn't – we're going to beat the Bears regardless. I would be shocked if we don't beat the Bears. Now, if we decide to completely cash in and just not play anybody, then maybe. But I think to your point on what happened in 21, none of us even talked about that. It was about Green Bay got off to a good start. That's, I think, when you criticize, it always comes back to how did you start that game? And there's been teams that have rested their guys that have come back rusty and sloppy, and then you say, well, it was too much time. Rust versus rest. And then there's been times where those teams will come out all gangbusters and just go. Green Bay had that opportunity in that game. I think they scored on their first possession, and then I believe Mercedes Lewis coughed it up when they were rolling again, and then everything went to blank. So anybody that's worth a salt isn't going to criticize what LaFleur did in that stretch. And I think that's the formula he should use in this, because even with a bye, without the one this time, there's something about football players. Byes come and they go, and it's regular season. Listen to what Belichick and Dan Campbell, and I can't remember the other coach that was brought up, and I sent you guys that clip about how football players approached it. That's the kind of guys you want on your team. And if guys are like, oh, great, like Saquon doesn't want to sit. He's going to sit, but he wants to go out and try to get it. Those are the guys you want, because the only way to stay sharp playing football is by playing football and having the mental anguish of studying and the pressure of going out there and performing. You can't get that. We'll practice hard and then we won't play. Just not the same. So this should be a no-brainer. And by the way, this is a bunch of young guys. This isn't a seasoned team. Outside of Jacobs and McKinney, I don't know who else you'd even put. Kenny Clark. If you want to rest Kenny Clark, I'm fine. Everybody else, Edgerrin Cooper, get his tail out there. He needs to get more consistent with what he's doing. He's playing great, but more reps. That's how you become better. And I think that's where Matt LaFleur is looking at, saying what we did against Minnesota ain't going to beat any playoff team. We better get our blank together, and we have an opportunity to approach this like a pseudo preseason game, but with a lot more on the line. And I think that's the approach you're going to see.
Right. And to his point about the injury list, there's no reason to play Christian Watson.
Nope.
There's no reason to play Quay Walker. There's no reason to play Evan Williams.
Is Quay Walker going to play when he is healthy?
Yes.
So who goes down?
It's probably less Eric Wilson on the field and less Isaiah McDuffie. But again, to your point, Edgerrin Cooper, you heard what Matt LaFleur said on Tuesday, that it was a, quote, mixed bag from Edgerrin Cooper. So, again, it's what we have talked about time and again on this show.
Are mixed bags always bad, though? Because if you get that popcorn down in Chicago, mixed bag is awesome.
Or like a party favor, like a kid's birthday,
now,
you get a bag of good stuff.
Like, I love the Gardettos and Sarah doesn't like the pretzel sticks in those mixed bags.
I'm sorry, when did Gardettos become an advertiser? What, do they make ice cream too?
It's a form of a
chip.
Snap. Okay, my bad. Hey, my bad. What are those little loaves called? I thought they're called Gardettos. Are they not?
You're talking about the rye chips that are in the Gardettos.
That is not a Gardetto?
No, Gardettos is the mixture.
Okay, my bad.
The rye chip.
Those little rye chips that I like, some people don't.
I love them. Yeah.
So what's wrong with
You can buy just a bag of those, by the way.
I don't feel well. Then they're not as good.
I agree.
They need to be in moderation.
Yeah.
Mixed bags should not be used in bad terminology, in my opinion, because it gives variance to everybody's opportunities. So no, I don't think it should be used in that form.
No one refers to Gardettos as a mixed bag,
but it is.
They call Chex Mix. But the bottom line,
Gardettos are a mixed bag. There's all kinds of options in there. It's true. It is
mixed
trail mix, another mixed bag. I think most people like it. Oh, I don't like the raisins. Well, then pick around them. Edgerrin Cooper, I love his great TFLs. Well, then pick around his mistakes and when he doesn't line up properly.
But
right?
You can't. You just proved the point, and you don't even know it. Play the tape. He had some plays that were the raisins.
You can't just role play the tape. It has to be disputed. I'm not disputing that. All I'm saying is mixed bags outside of football, pretty good.
But the plays where he misaligned or had the wrong assignment are the raisins. That's what makes it the mixed bag. It's not just the M&Ms and the peanuts and the other things you like about your trail mix.
Bottom line, football mixed bag bad. Mixed bag out in the consumer world, I think pretty good.
Homer was very generous to reschedule his time with us to 9:30 this morning, and here we are at 9:37 arguing about Chex Mix and mixed bags.
Let's go.
Steinhoffels is partnering with Special Spaces Wisconsin. I've been telling you about it all season. I spent some time yesterday with Brandon McManus. It was an interesting conversation with him about his process.
At Steinhoffels? Were you guys looking for couches?
No, we were not. He's making lots of field goals, and every time he...
Oh, okay. I just thought, what a great partnership that you and McManus are going out shopping for couches together. And there's a great cause behind it. What a good deal for everybody involved. There's no mixed bag with that.
Brandon McManus, since his arrival, he is 29 for 29 on extra points and 17 of 18 on field goal attempts. That means he himself, $17,000. He has helped Steinhoffels raise with $1,000 for every made field goal this season, going to Special Spaces Wisconsin, creating dream bedrooms for children battling cancer across Wisconsin. Every time the Packers make a field goal, even if it was Braden Narvison earlier this year, who I think made 12, so they're up to $29,000 donated to Special Spaces Wisconsin. Keep them coming. Throughout the playoffs as well. Keep them coming. Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader since 1934, is 100% employee-owned, and is a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers. Steve the Homer True had a tweet this morning that made me laugh out loud. LOL. I will tell you what it was when he joins us next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's makes the good stuff for good times. Find recipes, videos, and more at titosvodka.com.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is partnering with Special Spaces Wisconsin and the Green Bay Packers to create dream bedrooms for children battling cancer all across Wisconsin. This season, every time the Packers make a field goal, Steinhoffels will donate $1,000 to Special Spaces Wisconsin. Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader since 1934, is 100% employee-owned, and is a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
I knew that we were going to be getting engaged soon and needed to do some ring shopping. Heard the radio ads of Chalmers and decided, hey, we should give it a shot at Chalmers.
They were just awesome at accepting us through the door and understanding what she wanted in terms of how she wanted it, and they delivered.
Everybody always is telling me how sparkly my ring is. They tell me that they really like the style of the ring and the setting that it's in. I am ecstatic with it.
Thank you, Chalmers.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison wants you to start the year behind the wheel of a brand new ride in our Road to the Motherlode giveaway. On Friday, January 31st, there are lots of opportunities for you to strike gold. 3 winners will be chosen every half hour from 6 p.m. until 9:30, with each taking home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500. Then at 10 o'clock, one grand prize winner will receive our largest single prize ever, a $50,000 vehicle certificate. And it's only at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
LabCorp Clinical Trials is changing to a new name, Fortrea. While the name may be different, Fortrea combines decades of great experience and professionalism with new opportunities for clinical trial participation. It's more than a mission and more than a new name. Fortrea is dedicated to moving healthcare forward. To learn more about the future of healthcare and upcoming clinical trials, visit us at FortreaClinicalTrials.com. That's FORTREA clinicaltrials.com.
One of the best things about the holidays is going home and spending time with family and friends. One of the worst things, getting there. Holiday travel can be tough, especially driving. If your loved one needs help after an accident this holiday season, we're here for you. Our top-notch team of experienced professionals is available 24/7. Be safe this holiday season. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
We're on the Packers playoff push.
They are not the regular season juggernaut team that we've seen in the past.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
A lot of regular season juggernaut teams fell short of their goals.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Whatever you do, make sure you do it right. Whatever you do, make sure you do it right.
I don't like everything Homer tweets, especially about unscrupulous beat writers. But this was funny. Rashawn Gary is in the Pro Bowl. Is there another Rashawn Gary in the league?
Rashawn Slater.
Joining us now, the voice of Marquette men's basketball. You hear him every weekday on the Homer Hour. And, of course, on God Talk, My Faith with Homer and Pip on YouTube. It is Steve the Homer True. Homer, good morning. How are you?
I'm still surprised. I don't understand how I made the Pro Bowl, though Gabe Neitzel explained it probably well, that he's listed as a defensive end, and defensive ends are different depending on the setup that you have. So.
Yeah, they should just do edge rushers or something, I would think, so that way linebackers
it's about like making the All-Pros as a fullback because there were no fullbacks. So it's not that bad, but it's in that same category.
Someday maybe they'll do left tackles and right tackles, so great right tackles like Tausch and Brian Bulaga make it. So, Homer, when you look at this team, we were just having the discussion about whether to play or to sit your most important players or take a half measure of having them play a half. When you look at the way that they played against the Vikings, Matt LaFleur basically saying, look, we were sloppy, our guys need to play. How do you view it?
Yeah, that makes sense. This is a hard one because I think you have to defer to football people, but they can't agree. So if the people can't agree, the coaches, teams, whatever, then it's clear that it's to some degree made up. And the more teams do poorly that take the bye, that reinforces the belief that maybe you should play, even if you don't need to. I mean, everybody should play. So that's the stat that's brought up. So based on, like, I tend to listen to whatever Belichick says. Like, you play everybody unless somebody's hurt, and then it's a question of how much you play them. But everybody preps as if it's fundamentally a normal game.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, but Homer, you can't expect people to prep if you know there's no test coming. You just know that, right?
Fine, I'll defer to you. I
think if you're going to play them, you got to play them. And again, I think a half is more than enough.
Then how long do you play them? Do you take them out? Okay, a half. That's fine.
Yep. This should be. Again, and Jason brought this up earlier, which I thought was a great point.
There's a lot of debate among people that you would respect as to what to do. Nobody has really figured. There's no analytics. That clearly affects coaches going for two, whatever. There doesn't appear to be any analytics on resting or not resting, right? So
Hey, when Tausch says that I brought up a great point, could you not interrupt him? That doesn't happen very often.
Sorry, that's my strength. I feel like
I'm aware.
Or I can do better. That's why I interrupt.
Yeah, Jason's point on the coaches do worry about criticism and what's right and wrong, even though they shouldn't. And I think looking back, Matt LaFleur, how he approached that 2021 with the line, I think it was up in Detroit, right, where they played a half and then ended up getting beat.
Mm-hmm.
But they played, and it wasn't. We didn't lose to the San Francisco 49ers because Aaron Rodgers and Devontae and everybody didn't play a full game. That was, I thought he played that really well. It's because they stunk and they didn't play well in the second half of that game. Period. End of story. There is no the big thing, if you want your guys as fully fresh and rested, but there still has to be an edge. And the only way you keep an edge is by playing. And sitting for that long, I think most teams have looked at it and thought, if we do that for a full, especially with a younger team, you're just not going to be as gung-ho and ready to roll as you need to. And you can't do what Green Bay did against Minnesota. You can't have a first half where you're sloppy. It gets your blank beat. I don't care how good you play in the second half. Rarely are you able to overcome that against good teams. And there's only good teams that play in the playoffs. So that's why this should be a no-brainer. And I bet when it comes to it, that's what Matt LaFleur is going to decide to do.
Sounds good. I think sometimes the whole discussion of it is overrated, but
there's a lot of things that are overrated. Gardettos.
Anything else? Anything else on the list that comes to mind?
Baskin-Robbins, 31 flavors. Homer, do you think the Packers were overrated this season? Like, do you think we thought they were better than they actually were? I know you and old boy here went back and forth on Green Bay game night the other night about this, and Tausch saying that they're the third best team in the division, which he was not saying for much of the year, and now he has to say based on the standings. Do you think they were overrated by us throughout the season?
No, they're somewhere in there. It's still to be determined. We're just getting ready. We're just getting done with the exhibition season.
Yep.
It'll all be determined, and you need a break to do well in the postseason. Detroit being hurt might end up being a break, but again, I objected to it when Tausch said, I don't care if they're the fourth best team in the division. If they're still among the elite teams in the NFC, you just picked a year when your division was the best ever.
Mm-hmm.
There is nothing negative, even though it sounds negative, and Tausch knows it, but he still says it, to say they're the third best team in the division. So what? They could be the third best division in the division and be what's the best record you could have. To bring that up first is disingenuous. He knows it, and you'd have to ask Tausch why he likes to say it.
Because it's true. I've also said that they can go and win a playoff game, and once you win that first one, everything's Katie bar the door. Like, let's go. Right now, everybody views Green Bay as a good team that can't beat really good teams. That's how we're viewed. And by the way...
Yeah, but they don't... Not one of them brings up the fact that they believe that because they're third in the division. That's like being the third richest man in the world. And, but you're poor. No, don't even bring it up.
Well, you're poor in those circles.
The
that
Packers
is how it works.
are a very good team, right? Or a very good team.
Hey, Tom Brady hanging out with Elon Musk and Jeff Bezos, he's pretty poor. Tom Brady in the real world, probably...
That's my point. He's not. You made my point against your point. Do you have any other analogy that supports my side of the opinion? Because I'd love to hear it. Tom Brady is rich regardless. And to compare to people to try to act like he's poor is wrong, just like to compare the Packers as third in the division as meaning they're not good is wrong. You can stop
That's
now.
Not what I said.
Run with it.
Okay, Tom Brady, I'm not going to get into
it. It presents them as poorer than they are.
Because there's regular season poor, Homer. There's regular season poor, and then there's postseason. And this story has not been written.
Yes, I will agree with that.
It's not really, though. So they are the third best team in the NFC North. That has been proven in the regular season. But that is not how you're judged. That is, the regular season is the stepping ground to the legacy of playing in postseason football, period. Green Bay is in a position where it's going to be a lot more difficult road, but a lot of times that makes it more rewarding. Whether or not they can do it, it's going to be tough sled, no doubt. And if they get beat by Philly in the first round, are we going to look at this season as some raging success? It's not like some bitter disappointment either, but it would not be. I think we expected more because this team is better than last year's team. Most people, anyone that watches, would say that. But they wouldn't have gotten as far. And their road is going to be, even though last year at this time, a 7th seed, nobody thought they could go into Dallas. Dallas hadn't lost the game. So all of this stuff is great. It's fodder. It's discussion points. But until you go play a postseason game, once they win a postseason game, Homer, nobody's going to talk about that they're third best team in the division. Nobody.
No, you'll still bring it up. All right, yes. What's next? We agree.
All right, so Jesse clipped this from Green Bay game night. I thought when I talked to LaFleur, I had some pretty good points. It obviously got a lot of traction on social media. Jason doesn't think so, even though. Do you not agree with my assessment of Matt?
No,
LaFleur?
I just don't love it when you say, I thought I made some pretty good points.
You just were raving. Okay, I'm not going to get it. I did.
Good points.
Gary Ellerson, who also brought up some very interesting topics. Jesse cut
Did he make good
clip.
Points?
He did.
Yeah, he did.
I don't necessarily. Yep. So, Jesse, can you run that from Green Bay game?
Sure can.
Let's hear it, and then I want to hear what Homer was thinking in response.
It feels like Jordan Love is playing not to lose. I mean, his passes are all. It just feels like he's tight. It just feels like he is not free flowing. Just feels like he's playing not to make mistakes. You got
there are no wows anymore.
You know.
Yeah.
You gotta let him. You gotta.
Well,
let
no,
him.
that's
You gotta let him.
A wow can be a number of different ways.
You got somehow they gotta figure this out. You gotta let Matt LaFleur. You gotta let Jordan Love be Jordan Love. You got to take the good with the bad.
Because you have Kraft who's even.
You can't overcoach them. I see a lot of these coaches overcoach players.
So how do we know? How do you know? All right,
in
the offense. How do you know when you're supposed to pass, but then you got to run more? Or
well, I don't know, and that's why he's making all the money. That's why he the head coach of the Green Bay Packers.
It seems like the Vikings have that figured out.
They got it figured out.
Yeah.
So, and this is part of, I think, the problem with this offense right now. Jordan Love is no longer Jordan Love anymore. You got to let Jordan Love throw in the double coverage every once in a while. Just got to. That's who he is.
What do you think, Jason? I have not gotten your reaction to that. I think Jordan Love needed to change because he was turning the ball over too much. And he has not done that. And he still's made some wild throws. Obviously, against Minnesota, I can't think of any wild throws. But when you're talking about having to go through this gauntlet in the postseason, he's going to need not maybe a Rodgers-Falcons 2011 game, but he's going to need to be better than what, 68 yards through 2.5 quarters of football up in the Metrodome or the U.S. Bank, whatever they call it. How do you balance that, Jason? Because Homer's in full agreement with Gary. I disagree. I don't think he needs to start whipping it more into double coverage.
Wait a minute. When was I in full agreement with Gary?
You're shaking your head with him and saying, yep.
Well, no. But his presentation, what I thought was important in my input was how many times I appropriately interrupted at exactly the right time to address certain things. I have never done an interview that I heard back that I said, that's why I interrupt, and nobody has interrupted better than I did on multiple.
Okay, you're the great interrupter. That's a great.
I thought gave my opinion. I never gave my opinion on what he was saying.
All right, well, let's get Jason's. Okay, Homer, let's get Jason's opinion, and then we'll get yours, even though you were on the show with Gary for 2 hours. And I would think at some point maybe would have pushed back or said something, but you do you. Jason, what do you think?
Well, I thought he made some good points.
Oh, God.
I'm honored to be part of this segment.
Gary and I, more often than not, agree. If you ever listen to Green Bay Game Night after Tausch is off, I usually am on with Gary and Homer. That wasn't the case this past Sunday night. As I joined Homer for the final portion, we went over. We had a great conversation. I made some really good points during that conversation.
Oh, God.
But in this instance, I have to disagree with Gary because, look, he hasn't had to make the wow throws in the 2 games leading into the Vikings game, right?
He did not. No.
He did not. He did not have to do that in Seattle. But still, 20 of 27, that's almost 75% completion rate, right? He threw for 229 yards. He had 2 touchdowns. The dude hasn't thrown an interception since the one he threw in Chicago.
Knock on wood.
On the 27th, on the 17th of November. So against Minnesota, he was off. I don't think it was because he wasn't taking enough risks. I think the way he's played has been very good. He had 5 straight games, and I understand passer rating is not the end-all, be-all statistic, but what it indicates is that you're completing a lot of passes, you're not turning the ball over, you're throwing touchdowns. So if you've got a high completion percentage, you're throwing touchdowns, you're not throwing interceptions, you have a high passer rating, that's a good thing. It's not the end-all, be-all. But you're telling me that he didn't have some wild throws in Detroit? Get out of here.
No, he did. No, he did.
Definitely did. And so, yes, I agree with the premise that for them to go on a playoff run, he is going to have some wild throws. And if there was one concern I would have about their offense right now, it is if a defense comes in and says, there is no way in God's green earth we are going to allow Josh Jacobs to beat us. We're going to make you beat us with your passing game. If there's somebody that says that, Jordan Love is going to have to make those wild throws again. But I don't think the last several games are a good indicator. He did not play well against the Vikings.
He did
right?
not.
They played a lot of man coverage. They did a really good job of putting the umbrella over them, being able to go downfield. Him chucking it downfield to Bo Melton into double coverage, and then it wasn't even close enough to be caught or intercepted. I think it landed out of bounds. That's not helping anyone. So, yes, he's going to have to make some wild throws. I think he has proven he's capable of that. I don't think that he has stopped being Jordan Love. I think he has stopped making too risky of throws, but there are going to be some risks that need to be taken. So if that's Gary's point, that tiny piece of it I'm on board with,
Homer,
but you can't change the way you're playing.
Before I let you jump in, so Jason, is Jordan Love playing good enough football to lead his team on that Rodgers run, in that position to take them on a 3-game run? Is he playing good enough? Because I would argue after he threw all those picks and everybody was on him, he has really matured. And I've liked what I've seen. He understands what the game needs. We're playing a Seattle team that is not very good. We don't need to be risky with the football. Chicago, we don't need to be risky with the football. Detroit, you have to maybe take more chances because they're going to go on 4th down. And you have to understand what your team needs. The Texans game was the worst when it comes to that this year. Too many dumb risks that he did. Is Jordan Love in that position, do you think, where he can make that run when it's going to be called upon to do it?
Yes, but he didn't play like that against the Vikings on Sunday.
Okay.
He did not play well. He didn't play well.
Homer, what do you think?
He didn't play well because the offensive line sucked. Back to what Gary said, I had no problem with the interceptions given the number of touchdown passes he was throwing at the time. And so the issue is not only, yes, you can throw an interception if you have a lot of touchdown passes. He is not. So I got to go because I got my faith. Have a great show. Bye.
Wait, he just walked off?
Well, he's taping My Faith with Homer and Pip.
Okay.
And I pray that it goes well for him. But we did not. He needed to be out by 10.
That's on us then.
Yeah,
it's on Jason patting himself on the back so much about his great points.
It's 10:01. The first I heard that he needed to be out by 10 was at 10 o'clock. Not pointing the finger at anyone.
Why'd you get to him so late?
Because we talked about Doug
Coors
Gottlieb.
Light, brewed with a 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold filtered.
What are you doing?
So it's made to chill. I'm trying to get us back on the clock, Jason.
Right, but you could do that read in the next segment because we still have another segment left, and that wasn't the time.
The mountains on Coors Light's cold activated bottles and cans. Make sure they're blue. That's when you know it is chilled to perfection. That's why it's Coors Light in my hand when I need a moment to chill. Celebrate responsibly. Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Tausch will tell us about Coors Light again next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
We're on the Packers playoff push.
The Green Bay Packers are still struggling to have an identity.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
Internally, I think Matt LaFleur is still trying to chase who he is going to be and what type of way he wants to coach.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
Purchase your tickets, grab some friends, and get to the Sylvie on Monday, February 24th for Andy North Trivia Night, presented by Exact Sciences. Enjoy a fun and inspiring evening of trivia, music, food, and refreshments while helping to raise money for UW Carbone Cancer Center. This fun and inspiring event is hosted by Andy North, and in addition to the trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, and prizes. Doors open at 6 p.m. Visit AndyNorthAndFriends.com to buy your tickets. Past year's events have sold out quickly, so get your tickets today.
Rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by your Badgerland Chevy dealers, proud supporters of Badger Athletics. Go to BadgerlandChevy.com. New year, new challenge. Top-ranked Wisconsin women's hockey facing second-ranked Ohio State to begin 2025. A Thursday night game in Madison, followed by a Saturday afternoon showdown in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Forward Layla Edwards on the upcoming battle with the Buckeyes.
They always are one of the toughest teams to play against, so it'll be a good test to see how we can handle playing against such a good team coming off a break and then in Wrigley Field. We'll learn a lot from it and use it to advance after.
7 p.m. puck drop on Thursday, 4:30 on Saturday.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Mark Tauscher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott Garrett and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
And Madison.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio.
Touchdown!
Electricity, the atmosphere. Coverage continues today with the All-State Sugar Bowl at 3 on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
I'm being told that the maker of Good Points from his undisclosed location has a question for the all-new carbless.
Oh, let's go.
Talk and text line.
Love carbless. Great.
What's your question there? Are you carbless, by the way? Do you
I need to be.
You eat some carbs.
I need to be.
Let's be
what is that
honest.
supposed to mean?
Less is more.
We like carbs. That's why we need carbless.
It's a good point by everybody involved. So I don't want to just randomly willy-nilly throw polls out there. So I don't know if I want to go with the Jordan Love angle.
How's that different than usual?
Or if I want to, I mean, where do you think Packer fans are at with this Bear game on Sunday? You think we want to see our starters?
Don't care. Figure this is a meaningless game. Probably not going to get the 7 seed. The Bears still suck. They would be happy to chant. Which Packers fans, again, I'm not here to tell you how to behave. I am curious why they chant that during games that don't involve the Bears. Like they were chanting it during the Saints game after they got done doing the wave.
That's because the Saints game was really boring.
They were boring.
That's a boring game. We always give Bears fans a bunch of grief for talking about the Packers in these games. In fairness, the Bears are kind of irrelevant to the scope of where we're at as a Packer fan base when it comes to the goals we're trying to accomplish. It is now firmly Detroit, Minnesota. It's just where we're at. So, yeah, I'm with you. I don't think about the Bears, and I don't think most Packer fans do. I think it's just a fun thing for us to chant and to cheer in games that are super boring.
All right, so I'm sorry, you had a question, and then you asked me a question instead.
Well, because I don't know. I mean, with this new partnership, I want to make sure we're, feeling good and having Carbless feeling good. I don't know if enough people care how much Packer players are going to play. Starters are going to play on Sunday.
So your question would be, what's the most important thing that the Packers can accomplish on Sunday against the Bears? Winning the game, playing like they have in previous games, unlike the way they played against the Vikings, which was, quote, sloppy, per Matt LaFleur, or getting out of the game healthy, especially with Josh Jacobs and Jordan Love.
Won't healthy be a runaway winner?
You would think so, but I'm not asking it in poll question form. I would ask it in text form so people can utilize the Carbless Talk and text
There
line.
you go. That's why you're the
So
GOAT.
power rank those in terms of your goals for the Bears game. I would argue playing like you expect them to play and healthy are 1, 2, and then somewhere farther down the power rankings is winning the actual game. Do they want to finish 12-5? Sure. Do they want to beat the Bears? Sure.
Yeah.
But it's not as important as staying healthy and playing the kind of football that you want the Packers playing going into Philadelphia, which is where they're almost certainly going.
Agree.
All right. That's the question for the brand spanking new Carbless Talk and Text line, which is still the same number. 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. What is most important to you? Power rank what you want to see happen on Sunday at noon. Packers play like they're capable of, and they fine-tune their operation going into the playoffs. Packers stay healthy, especially Jordan Love and Josh Jacobs, or the Packers win the game. Or maybe it's something else. Whatever it is, you can respond on the talk and text line, the Carbless talk and text line, 844-770-3776. I want to get to a further discussion of Jaire Alexander since we didn't spend a whole lot of time on that, and he is donezo for the season, unless maybe he plays in the Super Bowl. We'll get to that to kick off the 10 o'clock hour. We'll do that in 2 minutes, so stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
Hey, it's Hunter Vaughn. ESPN Madison and Zimbrick Honda are celebrating the area's best high school sports stories with the Game Changers of the Month. Follow ESPN Madison on social media to see teams making an impact in their community. Nominate your local team today at ESPNMadisonGameChangers.com.
It's bowl season on ESPN Radio.
The electricity, the atmosphere.
Coverage continues today with the All-State Sugar Bowl at 3 on ESPN Radio and on ESPN.
Hey, this is former Badger Brad Norton.
Norman is a fake. Great call and great execution.
You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN, WTLX, Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center brought to you by Goodman's Jewelers, the diamond store of Madison for generations. Check them out, 220 State Street and online at goodmansjewelers.com. 3 Green Bay Packers named to the Pro Bowl this morning, including Rashawn Gary, Josh Jacobs, and safety Xavier McKinney. McKinney is a starter named to the Pro Bowl roster. Elton Jenkins also listed as a first alternate on the offensive line. The Pro Bowl games take place the week before the Super Bowl, as it customarily does. Meanwhile, the Packers getting set for their Week 18 finale at Lambeau Field this Sunday, hosting the Chicago Bears. The Packers currently listed as 10-point favorites for Sunday's game, according to ESPN Bet. Head coach Matt LaFleur sharing with the media yesterday that the starters will play on Sunday for the Packers, even though the game's result could end up being somewhat insignificant if the Commanders beat the Cowboys, the Packers would be locked into the 7th seed, likely visiting the Philadelphia Eagles in the opening round of Wild Card weekend of the playoffs. Plenty more speculation. Check it out over at ESPNWisconsin.com, as well as the latest from head coach Matt LaFleur meeting with the media at Lambeau Field. Wilde and Tausch continues right now.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 10 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. It begins as Jaire Alexander's season ends. Tausch, you heard me say this all kinds of times. Made some good points when I would say that in the absence of information, speculation fills the vacuum.
That's a good point.
So, when Jaire Alexander has now undergone arthroscopic knee surgery to relieve swelling in his knee and is now done for the season, were we wrong for wondering what the hell's going on with Jaire and why isn't he playing after he came back 2 weeks after injuring the knee to begin with and was on the field for 10 snaps until he said he couldn't go anymore? It didn't feel right. Was this mismanaged, both in a public forum and perhaps, as I asked Matt LaFleur yesterday, medically, because do you look back and say, should have scoped him right away then? How do you view it?
It's a lot trickier than just saying, well, you should have had the surgery right away. It's always easy when people say, well, the surgery was successful. Da, 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 da. It's always great for everybody else to tell you about surgery, when you should, and how you should go about doing it. I'm sure, Jaire, when the injury first came up, you're always wanting to know every option you have to get back out on the field as quickly as possible and as safely as possible. And you don't want to just go to surgery. You can do all of these other things that will give you an opportunity to get back quicker. Now, there's sometimes it is, hey, you get this cleaned up and 3-4 weeks, you can get back out there. That's the goal. But you want to exhaust your opportunities. And I don't know anybody that's like, man, I just want to have that surgery. That's typically, unless it's an elective procedure,
very fair,
most people are going to try and steer clear of it. So I'm not going to sit here and say, well, they should have done this, they should have done that. But the communication part of this was just poor. And I get it from the Packers standpoint. You have to be very cautious. And it's not, as much as I joke around about HIPAA and everything else, you want to be very sensitive to players' health. You don't want people putting your business out on the street. You want to be very, but in today's day and age with all of the stuff, and I'm talking gambling and information and people wondering, the interesting part to me was he was practicing 3 days a week. All of the other stuff, if you're hurt and you're hurt, you say, man, he just can't go. He's not ready. Easy. He's off with Nate. He's off with Flea. He's working. He's doing his best to get back out there. There just seems to be some miscommunication, or I don't know exactly how that's all shaking out, or if coaches are thinking one way and players thinking the other way. That happens. That does happen. But this could have been a lot easier done. Listen, man, and I think Jaire got sick of it, and that's when he brought up that his PCL was tore. I think that was part of that tipping point. It would have been a lot easier if everybody just came out and said, man, he tore this. He's going to be out a while. We don't know. It's when it was like with Rodgers with the collarbone. He might be back this week. Just put him on IR and say he's done for this 6 weeks or whatever it is, and then we're going to reassess. You have to control the narrative, and you need to be in unison with your player. And that can't always happen because sometimes the player doesn't want to go down that road. And sometimes there's just unknowns. And I'm guessing what happened here is there was recommendations or thoughts of, hey, if you have this surgery, maybe this, maybe that. And maybe Jaire also had someone else say, well, we think that you can, especially when you're talking about ligaments outside of the ACL, you're asking things to scar back in. I don't know the PCL. Like I know you want to talk MCLs. I'll sit here and have a course with you. ACL, unfortunately, I can tell you all about it. PCL, I don't know if that's a scarring back in or what. So there's varying degrees, and it's different for every guy. And in that position, you can't go like Marco did, or I came back with an MCL after 1 week. You can go out and function because you're in a little smaller space. If I'm playing DB, first off, shame on you for putting me out there. But secondly, you got to be 100% or you're going to get schooled. And all of those things factor into this. But yes, the communication and how it was handled, it could have been a lot better from both sides.
So this obviously begs the follow-up questions. One, how far can they go if they're not getting them back? There was a stat from Next Gen Stats. This, I don't know if you saw this. I know you're a big fan of my work, so maybe you read it in the story. But listen to these stats from NFL Next Gen Stats, okay?
Okay.
When Jaire Alexander was on the field this season, opposing teams completed 61% of their passes and had a 77.5 passer rating. When Jaire was not on the field, they had a 70.7% completion percentage and a 95.3 combined passer rating. That would seem to tell you there's a big difference between when he played and when he didn't. And I know the sample size is larger for the games in which he didn't, but that still is a pretty big difference. So the two questions I think it begs. One, how far can they go without him? And two, will we ever see him in a Packers uniform again?
We will not see him in a Packers uniform again. I think at some point, and again, I'll have to dig deeper into the capology of it. And I know there's plenty of guys, I know Ingalls, and there's a lot of guys that really focus in on that I'll check their tweets to get a better understanding of it. But I would be shocked if he was. And as far as where you can go without him, I think this defense has done some really good things, but you saw it against a really good Minnesota offense. You don't have that dog. You have to put more resources to try and stop J-Jets. And when you do that, Naylor comes out of nowhere, and he's got two tutters and he's open over. It changes how you can play. And that makes it tough because you're not playing against the New Orleans Saints and bad teams. You're playing against teams that are good and will expose you in ways that these other teams won't. And that will be a 3-game gamut that you have to run. And without Jaire, it just makes it that much more difficult. But I've said for the last month that if you're counting on Jaire, you're in a tough spot because the odds were this was how this was going to shake out. And unfortunately, that's how it played.
I want to talk a little bit more about whether or not he is done as a Packer.
Jason, what would you have advised? Let's say, I'm trying to think. Wallers says, Jason, this didn't go well. This whole thing, we're sitting here, you guys are asking questions constantly. Would it have been good for Jason, for whoever, just to say, you know what, Jaire, just go out and have a 5-minute conversation with where you're at? Because when Deepak did it, I think that quelled everything. What would you advise your good buddy Wallers on how to approach this?
Well, you make some good points, Mark. In fact, you just basically answered your own question, which I got once or twice over my career, by the way. Well, Jason, you just answered your own question. What do you want me to say? But you're right. The fact that Bakhtiari, it was the same deal, right? People were questioning whether he was willing to. There was the idea that he wasn't willing to play on AstroTurf or on artificial turf. No, but until he spoke. Now, he spoke for 45 minutes at his locker. We used an entire locker room where basically everyone was at his locker. Mm-hmm. So it was a dream locker room for, like, say, you during your later parts of your career. No one would have tried to talk to you. We were all talking to Bakhtiari. But awesome. It clarified things. And what I would say to Jason Wallers, their VP of Communications, or to any player or any PR person, is that I agree that putting timelines out there potentially are detrimental to the player, because then when he doesn't hit the timeline, people start questioning. But again, when you create a vacuum of information, I'm sorry, we live in a world where people assume the worst. And quite frankly, after the way last year went with Jaire, it was easy for them to assume the worst. Because I think there were some legitimate questions about whether or not he could have been playing and playing through what he was dealing with last year. And if he would have been doing that for a team that he felt good about or a defensive coordinator he felt good about, right? I mean, the guy got suspended. Like, he was not a happy camper last year. We all agree on that, right?
No, he was not.
But he seemed to be a very happy camper this year. He liked Hafley better. He liked the strength and conditioning staff better. He liked Derek Ansley better. Like, he felt really good about where he was at. He came to the offseason program.
Yeah.
And it wasn't just to collect the check, because he had the same check the previous year, and he didn't come.
Yeah, his football mortality finally got in check last year when he got suspended.
Yes.
I mean, that was a wake-up. And to his credit, he didn't hit the snooze button.
Right. So when I look at this, I would have said, look, you need to talk. You need to explain what's going on. And it didn't help him that he did try to play in Chicago and then shut it down after 10 snaps and then was never seen again. That did not help.
Nope.
And it probably didn't help him with the coaches either, who were like, what the hell's wrong with this guy? Mm-hmm. So, again, they created a scenario that was not good for the player or for the team. So I do think that being more transparent would have been much smarter. But
agree.
It's over now. I do want to get to whether or not they mismanaged this. Matt LaFleur had an interesting answer to that. But I want to get further into whether or not he's done as a Packer. We'll talk a little bit about the cap ramifications. The arithmetic is relatively simple, so even I can handle that. We'll talk about that next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
The number 7 just got a whole lot luckier because of Pizza Hut's $7 Deal Lovers menu. Enjoy all your Pizza Hut favorites, from pizza, pasta, boneless wings, melts, cheese sticks, desserts, and so much more. All for $7 each when you buy 2 or more. With this lucky deal, you don't have to choose between great taste and great value. You can have both at Pizza Hut. Order on the app or online at pizzahut.com today. Pizza Hut. No one out-pizzas the Hut.
You're probably being overwhelmed with information about semaglutide, the game-changing FDA-approved weight loss treatment. Jim Rutledge here. I was like you. I didn't know what it was until I saw Dr. Nessa Rodriguez at Carbon World Health. He can walk you through the benefits. He can tell you if it's right for you, and then you could come up with a plan to change your life with a workout plan and semaglutide. With that plan, I dropped from 20% body fat to 10% body fat, and I dropped over 20 pounds of fat and kept my muscle. You can do the same thing. Go see Dr. Nessa Rodriguez at Carbon World Health.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is partnering with Special Spaces Wisconsin and the Green Bay Packers to create dream bedrooms for children battling cancer all across Wisconsin. This season, every time the Packers make a field goal, Steinhoffels will donate $1,000 to Special Spaces Wisconsin. Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader since 1934, is 100% employee-owned, and is a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
Get your hydration on track with Water Joe. Water Joe has 0 calories, 0 sugars, 0 artificial sweeteners, and 0 carbs. Get a liter of Water Joe at your local Kroger, Pick and Save, or Metro Market for just 99 cents now until January 5th. Just purified water infused with a kick of caffeine. It's a great alternative to sugary sodas, sugary coffee, or energy drinks. Get that liter of Water Joe for 99 cents through January 5th at your local Kroger, Pick and Save, or Metro Market.
Good Karma Brands is proud to be an equal opportunity employer. Our policy is to provide equal opportunity employment, development, and advancement to all current and potential teammates. If you are an organization that maintains a job bank, provides employment information, or gives job referrals, you may request to be placed on the station's mailing list for future career opportunities. To learn more about careers at Good Karma Brands, please email careers@goodkarmabrands.com.
Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison wants you to start the year behind the wheel of a brand new ride in our Road to the Motherlode giveaway. On Friday, January 31st, there are lots of opportunities for you to strike gold. 3 winners will be chosen every half hour from 6 p.m. until 9:30, with each taking home a cash prize between $500 and $2,500. Then at 10 o'clock, one grand prize winner will receive our largest single prize ever, a $50,000 vehicle certificate. And it's only at Ho-Chunk Gaming Madison.
This season, Chevy brings classic pairings, cookies and milk, mistletoe and kisses, and your holiday plans and a new Chevy. Silverado 1500 gives you power and capability with 430 pound-feet of torque to haul your holiday tree. Equinox EV and the all-new Equinox offer award-winning quality and style to see you through the holiday season. See why Chevy makes everything better and brighter. See your Badgerland Chevy dealer today.
Professional volleyball is coming to Madison this January. Featuring Olympic medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drew Schumacher, Love Madison Volleyball is Madison's newest pro team. Get ready to watch some of the world's best volleyball players, from Olympic medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 17th at the Wisconsin Fieldhouse. Visit lovb.com for more information and tickets for Love Madison matches. Volleyball is the next major league.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
Churiel, a high fly ball. Back, track, bye, baseball!
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
All right, so Tausch, here's the math on the Jaire Alexander contract via Spotrac. His base salary next year is $16 million. His cap number, if he's on the team, is $25 million. His dead cap number, if he's not on the team and they trade or release him, is $19 million. So 25 minus 19 means $6 million less against the cap if he's not on the team than if he is. Now, theoretically, I don't think Jaire's coming back on a pay cut, so that's not probably an option. So it's either keep him at that number or move on from him. To me, your guy, the Gutenator, there's only 2 types of players that he has no interest in. Old players and injury-prone players. And Jaire Alexander, the Green Bay Packers have played 68 regular season games since the start of the 2021 season. He's played in 34, and he's missed 34. I don't think Goody has any interest, even though the guy is his first-round pick. First pick Goody ever made as GM was Jaire Alexander. I don't think Goody has any interest in carrying a $25 million injury-prone corner on the roster.
Agree. I don't know if I could put it any better. I think he appreciates his talent, and I don't even necessarily know if it's that. If Jaire blew his knee out in week 2, and he was kind of back in that, I think he flipped the script to his credit last year. Now,
no doubt. Mm-hmm.
If the salary and the implications were the same last year, do I think he comes back this year? Yeah, it was a much bigger cap hit. So you kind of balance those two things and try to figure out what the best thing for your team is. But there is no doubt Goody is about young players, ascending, hungry, and if you're going to be paid top dollar, you have to perform at that level. And if you're not, that's just the reality of the NFL. But when you factor that in along with this relationship, which, again, I don't know. I'm not privy to what they feel. I just watch and I listen, and it doesn't seem like it's in a great spot because of how this is all shaken out. You put all those things into the blender, I don't think you're getting a smoothie anybody wants to drink. So sometimes it's best just move it along, and you hope Jaire is able to get healthy and play and do it. But I don't think it's going to be with Green Bay, and I think Jaire's got to look long and hard about where he's at, because do I think he's going to get a Bonko deal? He ain't going to get a deal better than what he's got right there. It'll be incentive laden, because every other GM is looking at it saying, yeah, he's great talent when he's out there. 61% completion versus 70, according to Jason Wilde's State Journal article. Well, okay, that's great. But in that same article, you're going to hear the same thing you just said. 34 games played, 34 games missed. That's too big of a risk and without the reward with it. So it would be a heavy incentivized contract that I think he's going to end up getting, and I think it'll be in somewhere else. And I could see him going to a Detroit or a Minnesota if Detroit loses Carlton Davis, or if Minnesota loses one of their guys. That's just how this little world works in the NFC, and especially a division that's as strong as the NFC North.
And by the way, if he stays healthy, I can see him playing very well, too.
Yeah.
No doubt about it.
He's still a good player. Now, is he the same dog that he was pre-Pittsburgh Steeler injury? He has not recovered fully from that. I just don't think he has. He was, and people
it's a
watch
really good
film
point
and say,
by you.
You're crazy. He was physical.
He was.
Like, for a smaller
very
guy, he
willing
packed a punch, and he barked about it. He was the trendsetter in that group. And it just sucks because he took that injury, and he has not been the same. He has not been the same willing tackler that he was.
Understandably, to some degree.
He was everything you looked for in a corner. He had the attitude. He was ferocious. And you run at him, he was not scared at all to bring it. He would blitz. There was a point where when I was pushing Depoy, he was playing as well as any corner in the league. And those days are gone, unfortunately.
They are. All right, I want to get to next. Now what? How do they manage to beat, and I'm not saying they can't play all four of these teams.
It sounds like a self-help book going into the new year.
A good chance.
Now what?
Rams, Eagles, Vikings, Lions. You know what they all have in common? They all have really good to great wide receiver tandems or trios. How do the Packers handle that gauntlet now that we know Jaire ain't coming through that door? We'll talk about that coming up next. Want to remind you, if you've been injured, not while playing football for the Green Bay Packers, but in a serious accident, and I hope it never happens to you, but if you have been, there's one call to make. One call, that's all. Gruber Law Offices, 414-276-6666, 414-276-6666. Check out the website, gruber-law.com, to find out more about the firm, about all the great lawyers that are there, and, of course, everything David does in all of our communities. Gruber Law Offices, one call, that's all. Is Eric Stokes good enough? Is Carrington Valentine good enough? Is it Kalen King time? Those are the questions we'll address next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Let's get the latest from Lambeau.
There's always pressure. You got to find ways to deal with that pressure and handle as best you can to be the best.
This is your Green and Gold Fix on 100.5 ESPN.
Obviously, there's going to be things that turn up along the way. You got to be able to adjust.
This Green and Gold Fix is driven by Metro Ford.
The selections for the 2025 Pro Bowl games have been announced, and 3 Packers have made the cut. Running back Josh Jacobs joins the Eagles' Saquon Barkley and the Lions' Jahmyr Gibbs as a running back selection for the NFC. And on defense, Xavier McKinney is the NFC's free safety, while defensive end Rashawn Gary makes the cut, joined by Nick Bosa of the 49ers and Micah Parsons of the Cowboys. This is the 3rd time Josh Jacobs has been selected to the Pro Bowl, while it is the first selection for both McKinney and Rashawn Gary. The Pro Bowl games begin January 30th in Orlando. I'm Alex Strofe.
Purchase, finance, or service a new or pre-owned Ford at Metro Ford of Madison on the east side today.
Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka. In 1995, Tito Beveridge built his very own distillery and put his life savings into it. Since then, he's won the unanimous Judge's Choice Double Gold Medal at the World Spirits Competition, the Chairman's Trophy for World's Best Vodka Tonic, and many others. Tito's Handmade Vodka is still made on the same land where he started it, all in Austin, Texas. Distilled from corn and gluten-free. Visit us at Tito'sVodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. Distilled and bottled in Austin, Texas. 40% alcohol by volume, namely 80 proof. Crafted to be savored responsibly.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that a lot of life's firsts are better with help from American Family Insurance. Like your first home expansion, or your first big lightning strike. There's a first for everything. Get the right home policy at the right price with the right help from American Family's agents. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Lillard lobs up top to Giannis. Oh, what a play!
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, pump set, left side, powers it down. What a rally! And Wisconsin comes out on top.
And now, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Hit to left and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone! Wow!
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers. 100.5 ESPN.
Gold medalist and ESPN Madison foodie Matt Hamilton here to tell you about Metcalf's Market. As a proud Wisconsinite, you know I support local, and it doesn't get more local than 4th-generation, family-operated Metcalf's Market. Renowned for offering an extensive selection of local and premium quality foods, it's the best place to shop for me and my family. Where family tradition meets commitment to quality, sustainability, and supporting local communities, head to one of their locations today in Hilldale, near Westtown Mall, or Wauwatosa. Metcalf's Market. Bring local home.
Professional volleyball is coming to Madison this January. Featuring Olympic medalists Lauren Carlini and Annie Drew Schumacher, Love Madison Volleyball is Madison's newest pro team. Get ready to watch some of the world's best volleyball players, from Olympic medalists to NCAA champions and international superstars, with the action kicking off on January 17th at the Wisconsin Fieldhouse. Visit lovb.com for more information and tickets for Love Madison matches. Volleyball is the next major league.
ESPN Madison is on Wisconsin sports. Catch what you missed on the Varsity Podcast on Wisconsin On Demand, brought to you by Game Day Men's Health Middleton. Keep your performance up and on track in all areas of your life with Game Day Men's Health. Check them out at GameDayMen'sHealth.com/Middleton.
Life's busy, and Quick Trip gets it. Whether you're grabbing fresh coffee, a bakery treat, or a quick meal, Quick Trip is your go-to for quality and fast service. From clean restrooms to fresh groceries, easy meal options, and guaranteed fuel, we make your day easier. Plus, enjoy perks like free ATMs, free air for your tires, and sweet rewards with the Quick Rewards program. Everything you need in one stop, and always a friendly, see you next time, Quick Trip, where your day gets easier and better.
We are the National Park Foundation, and together with you, we're creating a future where every person, every generation, gets their chance at an unforgettable moment. Learn more at nationalparks.org/foundation.
Watch every ESPN Madison show live every day. Subscribe to ESPN Madison on YouTube for live video of every show and exclusive content. Just search ESPN Madison.
So now what? No Jaire the rest of the season. Maybe the Super Bowl. So, Tausch, your confidence level, if your starting 5 in the nickel are Keyshawn Nixon moving from outside in the base to inside in the slot, potentially, or you leave him outside and you're playing Javon Bullard in the slot. But either way, you're playing Carrington Valentine full-time, and you're playing, at some point, Eric Stokes, and then your safeties are obviously Evan Williams and Xavier McKinney. How do you feel about that group matching up with opposing wide receiver groups?
Not great, especially with the teams you're going to be playing. And as you were talking before the break, I started thinking, which wide receiving cores would you like Green Bay's over from the NFC standpoint? And it's tough sledding now. There's some ballers, and it almost starts because what happens is when you start getting these 7 teams, everybody will look for commonalities. Oh, well, why is this team so successful? And I think the narrative you're going to hear, quarterbacks are always going to be key. We all know that. Offensive lines, for all of us that know football, know you don't have a good group up front, you ain't going to be any good. Most of these teams, Philly's good, Minnesota's good, Detroit's good, Green Bay's good.
Mm-hmm.
The Rams, you could argue, they've had a lot of injuries, et cetera, et cetera. But Tampa, they got Wirfs out there. He's a really good player. Wide receiving core, you're going to be tested in big ways. And I would argue Green Bay has passed those tests when they've played mediocre to average wide receiving cores.
Mm-hmm.
We haven't seen them go against Cincinnati, and I don't want to. Okay? We've seen them go against Minnesota. Not great, Bob. We've seen them go against Detroit. Mixed bag, right? It's kind of a mixed bag.
Gardettos, some might say.
The Rams, we haven't seen it, but I'm going to tell you this. I don't want to see Puka.
No, they didn't have to do it the first time. That's what made it better for them.
And, by the way, old boy still had a hell of a day. Kyron Williams had a big day running, but they had a big day against us. It's not like that was one game where we had to outscore them, right? So I don't feel great. I mean, obviously, anybody that takes their number one corner and is not available to them, you're going to see kind of the ratcheting down of where your talent's going to be able to take you. And if I'm an opposing team without Jaire, I'm looking at it saying, don't let Xavier McKinney ruin it. We're going to kind of be able to do what we want to do, and especially with a pass rush that has not been great against good O-lines. So it's a big concern, if you want my honest opinion. And those stats that you put in your article today kind of lay that out.
Tell me if I'm a little bit of a Palmer here. The history of the Green Bay Packers has some outstanding 7th-round picks who became really good players. Adam Timmerman, Donald Driver. I can't think of anybody else off the top of my head, but I know there's another one.
I think Johnny Jolly, I believe, was a
he was a 6th.
Okay.
Obviously, I'm joking because you were a 7th-round pick who had an 11-year NFL career, so you are another one.
Wilde and Tausch.
My dog. That's
could Carrington Valentine someday join your group, your little fraternity of 7th-round picks who turned out to be really, really good football players?
He's an interesting case study here because he played last year really good football.
Started 14 games.
Everybody was pretty happy with where he was at, and I think he got lumped in with Ballantyne. And I still kind of run into it. I'm like, is that Ballantyne or Valentine? Because they had that whole law firm bit going. And But he was hurt for a good chunk of this season, right?
Yeah.
And then he didn't have a ton of opportunities, and they're trying to figure it out. He made a hell of a play. Was that 2 weeks ago? Last week? I don't remember.
Seattle. He had a pick in Seattle where he fell off his guy, and then he obviously had the pick on Sunday again.
Last week. Yes, to answer your question, and you were talking about Kalen King. If you're expecting Kalen King to be a big performer in this, that's the type of thing you need for this magical run. You need someone to emerge. Starks in 2010. Someone that kind of really was in the weeds and nobody was really talking about him. And then all of a sudden, bam, emerged and you go. And if with no Jaire, you might need someone like that. But I think Valentine has proven to be a really good football player and is only getting more and more confident now that his health has kind of gotten to where he can do what he wants to do. And he is going to get opportunities to keep showing the rest of the league that he is that guy. So I don't think you're crazy at all to be palming it. I think he is a really good football player.
Do they have enough of them? That's the question. In fairness to Keyshawn Nixon, I'm not saying that he's Jaire Alexander. He's not. He made a hell of a play to break up that ball in the end zone to Jordan Addison in the game on Sunday. He recovered really well and made a really good play on that. Can he be a shutdown corner? I don't know, Jim. What I do know is they don't have a lot of margin for error because first of all, if Eric Stokes is playing a lot, and Eric Stokes has played better of late, give credit where credit is due. He has. He still hasn't broken the streak. Very close. Got his hands on that overthrow. I thought the official scorer was going to give him a PBU. He ultimately did not. And then there was the overthrow to Addison that if he'd have gotten a hand on it, he might have gotten a PBU. But the streak remains intact. But guys aren't catching balls on him as frequently. So if he plays fine and Carrington Valentine plays well and Keyshawn Nixon plays well, they're okay. But they're like one more injury away from Valentine.
What do you mean okay, though? Is okay going to stop A.J. Brown and Smith?
Well, again, I don't know. Like, is Keyshawn Nixon at a point where they'd be willing to travel him? Like, is he that good?
Me.
I don't.
Tell me.
I don't know. And Jeff Hafley's not going to tell me when I ask him that tomorrow or today. But maybe. But if you get Eric Stokes matched up on Puka Nacua, I like Puka Nacua's chances, or I like A.J. Brown's chances, or I like Justin Jefferson's chances, right? So we'll see if they've got enough in the back end to cover these really good wide receiving groups. All right. We need to play trivia. Now, Jesse.
What are we doing, 8-person trivia today, or what are we doing today?
That was exactly going to be my question. So, good point by you. How many contestants are we having play today? 16? Or is it like the college football playoff? We want 12, and that's still too many.
Very positive feedback on the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line the other day from the
It wasn't the carbless talk and text line yet, though.
It wasn't even carbless then. Carbless is today.
Well, it is now the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line, and as I review it today, because it was so great to see the positive feedback, I scrolled back, and now it's the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line, and I appreciate all the kind words.
Praise.
Wow, that was fun doing year in review trivia on Tuesday. So we did 4 contestants on that day, so just 1 contestant needed today, and then that'll be it for trivia for the week. So no trivia tomorrow.
And even though it's not Wednesday, we're doing Wisconsin geography.
Well, it's the first trivia of 2025. I know Tausch would want to start it only one way, and it's with Wisconsin geography.
Especially since he doesn't then have to ask any of the questions.
Exactly.
All right.
Win-win.
There it is. It is 2025, so Jesse wants to celebrate the new year. So caller 25 for Wilde and Tausch trivia. Caller 25, 844-770-3776. 844-770-3776. We shall play trivia next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Something special is brewing at ESPN Madison.
Swinging a fly ball to left, to the wall, gone!
You're listening to Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Since J&K Security Solutions opened in 1987, our attention to detail and customer service have been our strongest assets. I'm President Jeffrey Beckman. We'll always do our best to find the most efficient and cost-effective solution to every job we tackle. Whether it's security for your home or business, installing video surveillance, or being able to control your garage doors from your phone, we can help you feel empowered with simple and user-friendly technology. Let's work together to secure your home or business. jksecurity.com.
You, rah. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute is brought to you by The Jump Around. Don't miss new episodes of this exclusive digital show, talking all things Wisconsin sports, premiering every Thursday at 12:30, streaming live on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel. Top-ranked Wisconsin women's hockey facing second-ranked Ohio State to begin 2025. A Thursday night game in Madison, followed by a Saturday afternoon showdown in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Forward Layla Edwards on the upcoming battle with the Buckeyes.
They always are one of the toughest teams to play against, so it'd be a good test to see how we can handle playing against such a good team coming off a break and then in Wrigley Field. We'll learn a lot from it and use it to advance after.
7 p.m. puck drop on Thursday, 4:30 on Saturday.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Metro Kia of Madison is Madison's trusted Kia dealership, and they are home to the 20-year, 200,000-mile warranty. If you're looking to purchase, finance, or service your vehicle, Metro Kia of Madison is the place to go. As always, at Metro Kia of Madison, you can enjoy 2 years of no-charge maintenance on any new vehicle. Browse their inventory and find this month's special at MetroKiaofMadison.com. That's MetroKiaofMadison.com. Find your new vehicle at your trusted Kia dealership today.
Join the Madison Money Guy, Christian Finfrock, for Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Get the information you need as you plan for retirement. That's Retirement Income Strategies, Saturday and Sunday mornings at 7. Investment advisory services offered through Retirement Income Strategies, an SEC-registered investment advisor.
Hi, this is Wayne Larrabee for Steinhoffels. Steinhoffels is partnering with Special Spaces Wisconsin and the Green Bay Packers to create dream bedrooms for children battling cancer all across Wisconsin. This season, every time the Packers make a field goal, Steinhoffels will donate $1,000 to Special Spaces Wisconsin. Steinhoffels has been Wisconsin's furniture and mattress leader since 1934, is 100% employee-owned, and is a proud partner of the Green Bay Packers.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
Hi, this is Lee, inviting you to Ruth's Chris Steakhouse in Middleton. We got a great happy hour every day of the week from 4 o'clock to 7, and our patio during the summer is open too. If you're getting married, special occasion, a birthday, anniversary, or even a business meeting, we've got all the accommodations right here at Ruth's Chris Steakhouse. You work hard and sometimes you're not sure what you want to do, where you want to spend your money. I want to encourage you to come into Ruth's Chris Steakhouse and say hello. It'd be a pleasure to meet you.
All day, every day, the Carbless Talk and Text line is open for you. 844-770-3776. The Carbless Talk and Text line. This is more.
Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's makes the good stuff for good times. Find recipes, videos, and more at titosvodka.com.
Time for trivia. Let's welcome in our contestant. It's our old friend, Jerry in the Prairie. Tausch has now decided to lean back in his chair and enjoy a cup of mud in his parlor as I do trivia. Jerry, good morning. How are you, buddy?
Doing good. Happy New Year's, guys.
Happy New Year to you as well. Great to have you as our first contestant of 2025. Let's see if we can get the year off to a good start with a bunch of correct answers. In Wisconsin Geography Wednesday on a Thursday trivia. Question number 1, Jerry, is this. And by the way, Jesse, did you do these yourself or did you delegate them, farm them out. If you will.
I'm batting leadoff in 2025, and we'll see how it goes. And
then you won't bat again.
330 trivia category days the rest of the year might be farmed out, but I'm getting number one.
All right, here it is, Jerry. Which of these Wisconsin cities ranked third on a 2024 list from research firm Smart Asset, ranking the most livable small cities in the United States? Was it Eau Claire, Beloit, or Auburndale?
Oh boy, I have no idea. Let's go Beloit.
A strong start to 2025. It is also not Auburndale. The correct answer, Eau Claire. Eau Claire, very lovely place.
Yeah,
Eau Claire, very livable.
Yeah.
One for none. All right, question 2. Jerry, is this: latitudinally, which of these Wisconsin cities is located farthest south? Farthest south. Is it Sturtevant, Stevens Point, or Stockbridge?
Ooh. Wow.
Oh my gosh. I haven't even heard of two of those.
I don't have any clue on
You've
this.
never heard of Stevens Point?
I've heard of Stevens Point. I haven't heard of the other two.
Part of the potato corridor.
All right, Sturtevant, Stevens Point, or Stockbridge.
Sounds like Jerry's got to travel the state a little more.
Sachs.
Right.
Sachs.
Let's go with C.
Stockbridge is also wrong.
All right.
Oh boy,
this is great.
Can we go the whole year without
Good
getting
start.
one right?
Sturtevant. So far, we're 0 for 2025. No pressure on you, Jerry, at all, but
We're going to try to keep her perfect.
see if we can Tausch it.
You didn't know that either, Tausch?
No, I don't know where Stockbridge is. Where is it?
Neither does Jesse.
No, it's Fox Valley area. Like,
Well, that's on level par with Stevens Point then. If you look at, because Highway 10 runs you right to it.
yeah.
That goes east or west.
Sturtevant's down by Racine, so Sturtevant's very clearly the answer compared to the other two.
Okay.
All right, Jerry.
Great job.
Question 3. Tausch is enjoying one of his favorite drives on Highway 33. If he's starting in Beaver Dam and heading east to Saukville, which of these cities would Tausch pass through first?
Ooh.
This sounds super easy.
I think I'll know this one.
All right.
I don't think
Go
Jerry will.
east from Beaver Dam. The gauntlet has now been thrown down on you, Jerry.
I would have known the other direction better.
Yeah, that's true.
Portage, Reedsburg. Yep,
East from Beaver Dam to Saukville. Are you crossing first Allenton, Newburgh, or Horicon?
Ooh.
Oh, boy. Well, I know Horicon's in that area. I'm not sure if 33 goes through it, though. Let's try Horicon.
Tausch, agree or disagree?
I know Newburgh is on that way. I just don't know. I'm going to say Jerry's wrong.
One of you is, well, you didn't even pick an answer now. Are you going with Newburgh or not?
I'm going with Jerry being wrong.
Your choices are Allenton, Newburgh, Horicon, or Jerry is wrong.
Jerry is wrong. Final answer.
The correct answer is Horicon. Jerry is right.
Atta babe, Jerry.
Jerry's eating rice.
I thought Horicon was off of 26. Is it not?
No, it's Highway 33 straight through downtown Horicon.
Attaboy.
Jerry, way to save the year.
Yeah.
You are 1 for 3. You got 2 entries into the drawing. I don't remember how those 17 contestants that we had earlier in this week fared.
Not great, I don't
bag.
think.
It was a mixed bag.
Just Jesse, you stole my line. A mixed bag for all involved. You got 2 entries into the drawing tomorrow. Thanks, buddy. We appreciate you a lot.
Thanks. Love you guys.
I love you.
We
guys.
love you. We love Jer.
You know what? We love Jerry. We love trivia. We love the state of Wisconsin. And Tausch loves a good Tito's.
Indeed. New Year's Eve, New Year's Day. Tito's Handmade Vodka. Yeah. Pour me in, Coach. Tito's Handmade Vodka is America's original craft vodka distilled from corn, and it is gluten-free. So for everybody that's given up gluten for New Year's, Tito's is your drink. Visit us at titosvodka.com for recipes, videos, and more. This is distilled in Austin, Texas, 40% alcohol by volume, crafted to be savored responsibly.
We will kick off the 11 o'clock hour in 2 minutes. We are not headed to Ireland. I was about to say Israel.
Wondering where that was going there.
A
lot of blanks could have been filled in.
Jeez.
They are possibly headed to Ireland. We'll get to that. Plus, want to talk a little bit more about how the Packers stopped their spiral last season, because the Bears could learn a thing or two from it. That's all still ahead during the 11 o'clock hour, which starts in 2 minutes. So stick around. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Don't go anywhere. Another hour of Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin, is coming up next on ESPN Wisconsin, the ESPN app, and Wisconsin On Demand.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
This is Derek Engler. You're listening to a Good Karma Brands radio station, 100.5 ESPN WTLX Monona, Madison.
Broadcasting live from the Everlight Solar Studio, this is your Metro Kia of Madison Sports Center.
Good morning, Madison and streamers everywhere. I'm Jesse Nelson. Sports Center, brought to you by Stoughton Health, providing experienced physicians, nurses, therapists, technicians, and staff for personalized, forward-thinking, expert healthcare. Stoughton Health, trusted care close to home. The Green Bay Packers getting set to host the Chicago Bears Sunday afternoon at Lambeau Field. Head coach Matt LaFleur meeting with the media yesterday, and even though the result of the Commanders-Cowboys game is maybe more significant than if the Packers are able to beat the Bears on Sunday, Matt LaFleur says the starters are playing on Sunday.
The right answer is whatever works, is really what I'll tell you. I do believe there's a lot of value in terms of especially how we played, I would say, a week ago, where I didn't think it was the cleanest game in any phase. I think there's value to going out there and playing.
Packers listed as 10-point favorites for Sunday's game, according to ESPN Bet. Rob Domofsky with more on the Packers and Bears over at ESPNWisconsin.com, including Jaire Alexander undergoing what's likely season-ending knee surgery after missing several consecutive games. Also, 3 Packers named to the Pro Bowl games this morning: Rashawn Gary, Josh Jacobs, and starter Xavier McKinney.
Metro Kia of Madison, Madison's trusted Kia dealer. Stop into Metro Kia on the east side of Madison or metrokiaofmadison.com.
The 11 o'clock hour of Wilde and Tausch begins now. Have we offended the good people of Stockbridge?
No, just a lot of fun facts about Stockbridge coming in.
Well, tell me more.
It's on the carbless ESPN Wisconsin talk and text line. Lists as more. Dan in Chilton, Stockbridge is the sturgeon capital of the world.
Is that right? I'll tell you what, catching sturgeon's fun now. And it's
Not
a good
sturd
eat.
events.
It's a good eat, too. Sturgeon.
Mailman Matt, Stockbridge on the eastern shore of Lake Winnebago, south of Appleton, west of Chilton.
How close to Fond du Lac?
If it's anything
close.
Within an hour.
Okay.
Within an hour. Zeke in Sun Prairie, Stockbridge, east on the banks of Lake Winnebago, home of one of the best tight ends in the NFL. Graduate of Notre Dame University, Dave Casper of the Oakland Raiders.
Okay.
So that's our Stockbridge text coming in.
I like that.
All right, so as much as I'd love to discuss Stockbridge further, we did ask a question.
We got a syndrome, right? Isn't the Stockbridge syndrome?
That's Stockholm.
Oh, syndrome? Okay.
Tausch must have watched Die Hard recently. I am curious if Tausch even remembers what question we asked for the Carbless talk and text line.
Yeah, something about Jaire. Jordan Love. Oh, no. Injury, rest, or, whatever for the Packers.
Win the game, yes.
Yeah.
So, Jesse, on the Carbless talk and text line, what have we gotten as responses?
First one here is from Chip in Cedarburg. Goals for the game against the Bears. Number 1, achieve a level of play you want to see going into the playoffs. Number 2,
agree.
Number 2, come out of the game healthy.
Agree.
Number 3, beat the Bears relentlessly and send their fans to the gates by the end of the first quarter. Side note, how about my Buckeyes, Jay Bird?
Yeah, good for the Buckeyes.
Chip in Cedarburg.
Oregon fans could have been leaving the Rose Bowl after the first quarter as well. Just wanted a good game. Didn't get it. Don't like to see Iowa State or Ohio State win anything, though.
Was Oregon a little fraudulent this year?
I don't think so. I don't think they played real well. They beat Ohio State once already.
When's the last time a great undefeated team got beat by 40 and could have got beat by more? When does that happen?
Well, I don't know if I said they were great. I don't think they were fraudulent. They got it taken to them yesterday.
Yeah.
And since we're in the business of saying who should and shouldn't be in the college football playoff and wins don't matter, Alabama should have still been in. Alabama still should have been in there, right? I mean, they only lost the ReliaQuest Bowl to Michigan, but I'm sure they still deserved a spot in some people's opinions. You can't not have
coming at Herbie. You're coming at the king, son.
Again,
you're coming at the king.
What did we learn? What did we learn in these games? We learned that even the number 1 team can get its ass kicked. Yeah. So it does matter what you do during the season, and they did not play well yesterday. There's no doubt about it. It was ugly.
Yeah, even when we played them, I wasn't that impressed. I mean, and their stud wideout was not playing.
Yeah, the game against us was their worst game of the year. Like, they crushed everybody else.
They still beat us. Yeah. No, they didn't crush. They beat Ohio State barely. So, listen,
and they
Oregon
barely beat Idaho.
Everything they got. They're not fraudulent. I was trying to be a little itchy there, but they got there. You don't see great teams get throttled like that.
Yeah, they're not a great team.
And they're not. Exactly.
Definitely not.
Yeah.
So to the greater point though that he makes there, hey, if you can get out to a 21-0 lead on the Bears, hey, more power to you. Great, because it allows you to accomplish the other goals, which means you're playing great, and B, you're getting guys out of the game.
I can't even get Waddle and Sylvie to double down on there. They owe us 2 pizza parties. I told them let's go for a 4-piece nug, and this is a
I just want to go to Cut.
Oh, you need to. They got some great baked salmon there, or baked Alaska. Yeah.
Can we actually get one of the pizzas though? Like, can we cash out? I could go for some deep dish.
Listen, I've went through some processes with.
And what does that entail?
Were you negotiating on our behalf?
Well, no, it was my wager. And then we decided I wanted to make
What did you put up?
It's a great question. I don't even remember. Something. I was
because you were that sure
enough.
You weren't going to have to pay.
No, we would have owed them something. We would have to send them some stuff down. I don't remember what. But yeah, I didn't think it was ever going to happen. And then I tried to work it out with our team, and there's some stuff that we got to maneuver through. And when we got a couple of roadblocks, old T kind of said, you know what? I'm not going to sit here and waste time. We'll figure it out in the new year. So that's what we're doing. Don't know what that is.
Check the tape. 2025.
Putting up some Baskin-Robbins ice cream, all 31 flavors. What else we got on the carbless talk and text line?
List is more. Tyler in Illinois. Stay healthy in a runaway. Getting things, quote, cleaned up is overrated. They've been clean versus crappy teams all year. The Bears are a crappy team, so it's not going to mean much to dominate them. Hope for health and flip the extra gear switch in the playoffs. Says Tyler in Illinois. What do you make of that assessment? That it's overrated to say you got to clean things up in 1 week against a bad team.
No, I disagree. I think, is it going to be the end all be all? No, I'm not saying it's like the most important thing ever, but sports and professional sports, confidence is a big part of everything we do. So if you want to go, if you slop around and think that that's going to, instill confidence in your crew to go to Philly, I can't help you. Do I think if they go out and throttle the Bears, that means they're going to go throttle Philly? No. But I think it will help build that up and give these guys that baseline back to, all right, this is more of what we do. Even though if, let's say the Bears come and throttle us, I still think we can go in and beat Philly. It would be shocking, and it would probably hurt the psyche a little bit. So cleaning things up, it's a coach speak, it is, but there is something to having confidence as you're going into a big game. I think it helps more than it hurts, but it comes down to your preparation and how you're going to execute. And typically, most teams that I've been a part of, when you have some positive mojo going in, it helps you build to give yourself that opportunity to play your best football when you need it.
We can get to one more here from Dan and McGuanago on the Carbless Talk and Text line. With Jaire out, we need to see our pass rush tee off on the Bears' underperforming O-line. Gotta see the boys get some sack action, says Dan and McGuanago.
How does Tom Brady say that word?
Sack.
That's how they say it in Wedding Crashers. Doesn't he say sock or sock or he says it?
He's an East Coast guy. I don't know.
Got to get a sock.
Dan brings up an interesting question, or he doesn't really ask a question, but it creates a question for me. Seeing our pass rush tee off, are we at the point now, as you like to point out, there are no bad teams in the playoffs. And generally speaking, there are really good offensive lines in the playoffs. You just mentioned that earlier. So are we at the point where Jeff Hafley has to say, blankets, I'm sending 5 or more often? Because once again, despite the Pro Bowl selection that Rashawn Gary received, their pass rush was not good enough against another good offensive line in the Minnesota Vikings on Sunday. So does he have to say, look, we can't ask our secondary to cover for hours on end? Does he need to be more aggressive and take those risks? You talk about Gary Ellerson saying that Jordan Love needs to take some risks. Does Jeff Hafley have to take some risks?
Yes. And I think he will. And I think you'll see more of those simulated looks and some of the other stuff that he had some success with. Keyshawn coming off the slot and some of the other things. And especially with Edgerrin Cooper showing what he's been able to do, I would be surprised if you don't start seeing Jeff Hafley get a lot more exotic with some of his stuff, especially on third down. But I think, and when you start looking at who we may have to play, and that's Philly, Detroit, potentially Minnesota, where Detroit made hay is on first and second down. When you got Goff to third and long, you were successful. It's you can't sit back and, let the play action pass dictate what you do. That's what teams are doing against Green Bay, and it's worked. So you're going to have to come at people and be more aggressive on first and second down moving forward than what we've seen. And I would bet that Jeff Hafley and Matt LaFleur are going to look at that and say, yeah, if we're going to get beat, we're going to get beat by being more aggressive. We're not going to just let people play action pass us to death.
All right, that's what we've gotten from the carbless talk and text line. Less is more. I want to get to this Ireland thing, especially given the fact that the dwellers in the YouTube comments are already asking if you're going to go, since your piracy, Irish pirate routine would play very well in Dublin. Before we can talk about that, we need to talk again about Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin.
Well, Happy New Year. And you know what? Happy New Year means a lot of rough days ahead for those who suffer from being sad, seasonal affective disorder. Plenty of gray and frigid days on the horizon where all you want to do is just be snuggly and cozy and warm at your house. And you know what? You're going to be in that house. Make it as beautiful as you can, both on the inside and the outside. And Pella will make it as comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Hurry up. You only have until January 31st. So visit PellaWI.com today to learn more. And as always, certain restrictions do apply.
We're going to Ireland. Well, maybe not we, and maybe not the Packers. We'll explain next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Call Gina Della from Pella today, 855-PELLA-WI, and online at PellaWI.com/radio.
Mark Tauscher here for Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie. Well, who needs a sleigh or reindeer when you can make this holiday season EV at Zimbrick Chevy? Zimbrick Chevrolet has all kinds of deals on electric vehicles going on right now. Save $12,500 on a 2024 Chevy Silverado EV 3WT. This truck gets the job done. It has a 393-mile range to go with a 12,500-pound towing capacity. There are 5 to choose from, so stop in, check them out. Zimbrick Chevrolet also has special offers this holiday season on a 2024 Chevy Equinox EV and a 2024 Chevy Blazer EV, including 0% APR for each. Well, maybe leasing is the way you want to go. Zimbrick Chevrolet also has great leases on EVs. Check out ZimbrickChevrolet.com to see all of their current inventory and all the new specials. And don't forget to stop in to see the amazing service team as you prepare for your holiday travel as well. Happy holidays from Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie, the name you can trust.
There's no safer place to feel dumb than Mr. Irrelevant with Alex Strofe.
I would love to play court on Mr. Irrelevant.
What do you mean play court? You want a mock trial?
Yeah, mock trial. Yeah.
Who's on trial for what? Me? For being a dumbass?
Yeah, right.
Oh, guilty. I solved it.
Yeah. Just start playing back old shows.
Yeah, the evidence is monumentous.
Mr. Irrelevant, live every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday at 12:30 on the ESPN Madison YouTube channel.
To those who've ever dreamt of their perfect event, those dreams are worthy and they are possible. Hi, it's Jeffrey from Celebrations Entertainment. With hard work, passion, and great music, we will make your event dreams a reality. Every event is a labor of love, with one-on-one planning, customization, and flawless execution. Bringing your event to life is what we do. For a fun, memorable event, visit celebrationsentertainment.com. That's celebrationsentertainment.com.
Since 1956, Holman Lindsay Paints has been making paint in Wisconsin for Wisconsin. Because of their commitment to making great paint for Wisconsinites, Holman Lindsay has grown over the years to 26 locations in this great state. Headquarters in Sun Prairie with a state-of-the-art facility, Holman Lindsay has the paint you need to make your job better. From do-it-yourself to professional, Holman Lindsay has paint for everyone. Visit one of their local locations today in Madison, Sun Prairie, Middleton, and Janesville.
Purchase your tickets, grab some friends, and get to the Sylvie on Monday, February 24th for Andy North Trivia Night, presented by Exact Sciences. Enjoy a fun and inspiring evening of trivia, music, food, and refreshments while helping to raise money for UW Carbone Cancer Center. This fun and inspiring event is hosted by Andy North, and in addition to the trivia, the lineup includes a silent auction, celebrity appearances, and prizes. Doors open at 6 p.m. Visit AndyNorthandFriends.com to buy your tickets. Past year's events have sold out quickly, so get your tickets today.
Come see what the buzz is all about at Madison Axe, Madison's state-of-the-art entertainment spot. Enjoy 8 lanes of axe throwing, craft beer, interactive games, plus digital target projection and scoring. For even more fun, check out their indoor backyard with 2,000 square feet of shuffleboard, cornhole, yard games, bar table games, and more. Perfect for date night, groups, corporate meetings, or private events. Madison Axe is your destination for all things fun. Throw it, nail it, celebrate. Go to MadisonAxe.com or head to their location on Stoughton Road today.
Have you been waiting to buy your next home? Stop. Now is the time to get housed. What's up, Madison? It's Stacy from Bruner Realty. Nobody has a crystal ball to know what the future holds. The longer you wait to find your next home, the better the chance you'll be paying more for it than you would be today. Don't miss out on what could be the best opportunity to find your dream home. Contact our team at BrunerRealtyInc.com to help start your search. That's BrunerRealtyInc.com. Let's get housed.
This is Madison's new home of Milwaukee Brewers baseball.
And the pitch. Hey, struck him out swinging.
100.5 ESPN, your new home of the Milwaukee Brewers.
I say, hey, I'll be gone today, but I'll be back from around the way. It seems like everywhere I go, the more I see, the less I know. But I know one thing, that I love you.
There is a... Was this even a report, Jesse? What was this?
So Sports Illustrated picked it up, but it was a rumor that is circulating, I think.
A rumor?
There's a rumor circulating that per sources, it's expected that the Green Bay Packers...
That's a lot of couching.
...may play the Pittsburgh Steelers.
Will they write that article?
The rumor is really it's more pointed at the Steelers. So the rumor, the strongest part of the rumor is the Steelers are playing in Dublin next year, and it's rumored that their opponent will be the Green Bay Packers.
You know who's going to be really excited about this other than Tausch? Is Matt LaFleur. He loves international travel.
Why are you always trying to stir stuff up, Jason?
Gesundheit. I am curious, Tausch, if you think that we are reaching the point where, if this comes to fruition, that Matt LaFleur is incrementally getting better and better with international games. He wasn't quite as bitter about, or at least publicly, not quite as bitter about Brazil as he was about London. So we get 4 or 5 years down the road when they're playing in Germany after playing an international game every single year. I got to think that he's going to be embracing it and be very excited about international travel.
Nope, I think he'll still hate it, but he's gotten better at the messaging of it. And this is where we're at with the NFL. You're going to see, you're a big brand. You have a big fan base. You have the quarterback. You have a good team. Get ready. Every year it's going to be the case. And I think you fought not giving up a home game. Again, just like last year, you had a good crowd in Brazil. Now, Philly ended up beating you fair and square.
Mm-hmm.
Pittsburgh is a great place to go play. Renegade is awesome. Like, I can't tell you how blanket awesome being out on a cold field with snow flurries coming down, and they crank up Renegade, and you're on the field, and it is a dogfight, and it is an awesome on-field deal. So to not have to go to Pittsburgh, but you have to go to Ireland, even though the Roonies are, I think, ambassadors. I think there's something there. It just is what it is. So you can pout and cry about it, or you could say, blanket, we're going to go kick some Irish you-know-what, and then celebrate with some Guinness. Go do it, baby. Let's go. That's where we're at.
If it's not your home game, I know it's inconvenient, And I know they're now 0-2, having gone to London and lost and then gone to Brazil and lost. But isn't it the same as avoiding Philly in the opener?
100%.
Like, it's a really, yes, I know it sucks to travel that far. I get it. But I'd rather play the Steelers in Ireland than play them in Pittsburgh. It's that simple. Like you said, with Renegade and whatever else, it still is a better alternative. My question is, are you hoping that it's later in the season, and will you take your bye after it as opposed to what you did with the London game, and then you ended up getting beat by the Jets?
I think you learn lessons from all of that stuff. I would hope they would do that similarly to last year and do it the first week. If Pittsburgh or Green Bay doesn't win a Super Bowl, fire that bad boy up. Let's turn this thing into Packer Friday in the beginning of the season. I'm fine with it because it's an advantage to do that early in the year. You get the preseason to prep for it, and then you get a little longer buffer where you're not taking that bye. I don't want to do that in October, November. If I'm Mark Murphy in my last stand here, just go to Goodell and say, you know what, man, this is where we're going to be. I only want to do it as a road game. I'm never giving up another home game. We will do the Detroit Lion Thanksgiving. I will give you Amazon Friday. You tell us where to go play. It'll be a road game every year, and the Green Bay Packers will take it. And then you know that's part of the deal. That would be that you're actually gaining a huge advantage because every other year you're going to have 9 homies, and your roadie is going to be another homie. Let's do it.
Could you stop saying homie?
I don't know. Maybe not.
Homie, don't play that.
But don't you think it'd be fun? Just embrace it and say, you know what, it's going to happen anyways. Let's just do it. And by the way, I think Green Bay in Germany is like
tailor-made. That's going to happen too. No doubt about it.
For sure.
Dan Rooney was the U.S. ambassador to Ireland.
What's the deal with an ambassadorship? I thought Andy Rooney on 60 Minutes was great. I loved Andy Rooney back on 60
No
Minutes.
relation. He was the ambassador to
You
Ireland.
don't know that. Did you do their Gene 21 thing or whatever it's called? You don't know.
My 23. He was the ambassador from July 3rd, 2009 through December 14th, 2012.
Good run. Good run.
There have been 3 ambassadors to Ireland since, and I'm sure there'll be a new one with the new president coming in. All right. We're not going to Ireland. Maybe we are. Maybe we can go do the show from there. I was told that I really missed out on London. I didn't have anyone tell me, boy, you really missed out on Brazil. I did not have anyone tell me that.
I don't think you could leave the hotel room, so it probably wasn't as fun as maybe London was, for sure.
So we'll get to Whoa Nelly coming up after Tausch tells us again about how much he loves Coors Light.
Oh, it's so good. It's brewed with that 3-step cold process, cold lager, cold packaged, and it is cold filtered because it's made to chill and make sure your mountains are blue. That's when you know it is chilled to perfection right where you want it to be. That's why it is always Coors Light in my hand. Don't care if I'm in Ireland, if I'm in Brazil, if I'm in Peru. It's always Coors Light in my hand. Celebrate responsibly, Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Whoa Nelly is next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
This is Wilde and Tausch, driven by Zimbrick Chevrolet in Sun Prairie on 100.5 ESPN. See their full inventory at ZimbrickChevrolet.com.
Hi, Drew and Jonathan Scott here, reminding you that American Family Insurance agents can help build a customized renter's policy so you can protect stuff like this, or this, or even this. Well, case in point. Life's better when you're under American Family's roof. Insure carefully, dream fearlessly. Get a quote and find an agent at amfam.com.
Products not available in every state. American Family Mutual Insurance Company SI and its operating company, 6000 American Parkway, Madison, Wisconsin.
Madison's home of the Milwaukee Bucks.
Lillard lobs up top to Giannis. Whoa, what a play!
Wisconsin Badgers volleyball.
Underneath it, bump set, left side, powers it down. What a rally! And Wisconsin comes out on top.
And now, the Milwaukee Brewers.
Hit to left and deep. Get up! Get up! Get out of here! Gone! Wow!
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Your Honda gets you everywhere. When it needs service, you need Zimbrick Honda service. Their customer service is second to none, and you can experience it for yourself at 2 convenient Madison service locations on Fish Hatchery Road and Grand Canyon Drive. From simple maintenance to expert repairs, Honda certified technicians handle it all. Stop in for an express oil change at Fish Hatchery Road on Saturdays. No appointment necessary. Part of the Madison community since 1973. Shop local. Shop Zimbrick Honda.
I'm John Hayes, owner of Goodman's Jewelers. We've been at the heart of many magical moments, from engagements to weddings to sweet 16s. It warms my heart to be a part of these moments for 40 years with people I consider family. With the highest standards and an eye for classic beauty, enjoy a warm boutique setting at Goodman's Jewelers, where integrity shines in every gem. At 220 State Street, Goodman's Jewelers, the Diamond Store, Madison, since 1933.
The best is at Goodman's.
Dog, I can't remember a game that was this good.
Yeah, you know what else would be great right now? Some food from the Great Dane.
I know, but we can't go right now.
Good news! The Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company is available on DoorDash and Uber Eats. Stay in the game with the full menu delivered from the Great Dane closest to you. Downtown, Hilldale, Fitchburg, or East Madison. Order today with DoorDash and Uber Eats or on thegreatdanepub.com. Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's original brew pub since 1994.
Evan, Canty, and Michelle are unsportsmanlike.
Here's what I'll do. I'll get the smoked buffalo wings, have the blue cheese on the side, but then I'll get an order of fries with cheese and bacon on them, and I'll dip it in the ranch.
Wait, that sounds amazing.
It's outstanding.
One of the weird food joys in my life is when you're eating buffalo wings and you dip it in the ranch and the buffalo sauce gets in the ranch.
Oh, it's great.
Elite.
Unsportsmanlike. Weekdays from 5 to 9 on 100.5 ESPN.
One of the best things about the holidays is going home and spending time with family and friends. One of the worst things, getting there. Holiday travel can be tough, especially driving. If you or a loved one needs help after an accident this holiday season, we're here for you. Our top-notch team of experienced professionals is available 24/7. Be safe this holiday season. Gruber Law Offices. One call, that's all.
When it comes to security for your home and family, you want a winner, and we found one when we placed our trust with J&K Security Solutions. This is Greg Gard. Kim and Jeff hit the game-winning shot for us with the Control 4 home technology system. Home or away, from our smartphones, we can open the garage door, dim the lights, turn on the TV, as well as arm the security system. That's convenience as well as peace of mind. Let J&K Security Solutions do for your home or business like they've done for us. Call 255-5799 or online at jksecurity.com.
Wilde and Tausch is brought to you by Tito's Handmade Vodka. Tito's makes the good stuff for good times. Find recipes, videos, and more at titosvodka.com.
Don't ever say it's over if I'm breathing. Racing to the moonlight and I'm speeding. I'm headed to the stars.
Well, talk about bad clock management. I left way too much time for Wonelli.
If the topic is good, the guys discuss.
Just the other morning I had breakfast at Tracy Rocker's house. His mama brought out 15 flapjacks. He said, Mama, take back 5 of them flapjacks. I gotta stay hungry for the Crimson Tide.
But if it's not, the show must go on. It's time for
Wonelli
on Wilde and Tausch.
That's all right. We got a little extra to get to. Strong start to Wonelli in 2025 here today. Mostly because it's Tausch's stuff that I want to make sure he gets to talk about before
Jesse,
he's gone
Do
tomorrow.
we need to reinvent Wonelli because calendar years, resolutions, et cetera, et cetera. How do you feel like Wonelli? You've been doing it now 6 years, something like that.
Boy. I think Wonelli gives us just the right amount of creative freedom and flexibility to make this whatever we want from it. And as long as you guys Wonelli things you want to Wonelli, I think we're in good shape.
All right, let's go.
Wonelli!
If I may, what prompted that?
I'm just curious. Don't you reflect more on New Year's, or you just keep plugging
You're
along
reflecting on
every
other
day is the
people's
same?
segments?
Yeah.
Did you spend any time reflecting on the fact that the movie version of headlines did not turn out to be popular with our fans.
Oh my gosh! Yeah, I told you the Wilde Academy is taking over.
That's
next year.
not
moves.
That is not what I asked.
Made moves. Yes,
no.
I understand.
You can't just assign it to other people. It was your baby.
We did 2 years, and I think we had one raging success. And I disagree. I think just judging by trying to grow our digital platform, like there's other things. Like not everything is going to be a home run. Okay?
That definitely wasn't.
Songs were.
Well, I can't wait to see what you and your crew.
It's not my deal. And here's the thing.
No, it is your deal now.
Here's the thing. The question is not
Whoa, Nelly.
about whether I felt good about it.
That's how it works.
Yeah, let's go.
Reinventing.
Hey, this new Whoa Nelly's great. All right.
What a bunch of
Tausch, you heard Rex Ryan talking on Get Up the other day, and you said, hey, Rex Ryan, 7:11 a.m., get up. And I went in and I found that dang audio.
I said at 7:11 so that you could actually clip it.
And I
appreciate
not say,
that. Well, when did he say it?
Since we did the process so well, and then we haven't talked about it since, I want to make sure we play this for you before you're off tomorrow, and we never get to it. So here is Rex Ryan on the potential Packers matchup in the opening round of the NFL playoffs.
Yeah, I think it's a horrible matchup for him, and he's going to have 2 losses against the Lions, 2 losses against the Vikings, and get ready to have 2 losses against the Eagles. Look, this guy has elite talent. Jordan Love has elite talent. He's not elite. And the consistency that you talked about keeps him from being elite. Yeah. All right? And so to me, he starts this game, and we've seen him struggle.
Couple misses early.
He looked shook to me. And you can't have that. If you're an elite player, you can't have that. You practiced all week. Get out there with confidence and fire, especially in those first 15. You ought to be, like Superman. It takes him a while to get started. Then he becomes Superman. Yeah. But he needs to start that way for this team to have any chance moving forward.
I can only imagine how many Lois Lane go grab a dinner references we're about to get. But Tausch, what'd you think of what Rex Ryan said?
No. I do think he needs to be better more consistently. And I think the national narrative, you just heard it, that's what you're going to hear all next week. And Packer fans can take that, or Packer players. I don't think the gulch is as deep as I think a lot of people think. But Jordan Love will have to play, and that's why I thought the Gary Ellerson piece, along with that, it's interesting to hear because Jason and I both like Jordan Love. I think we both think he's a really good player. He has started season slower than we'd like. He's playing good football, but I think to beat these teams, he's going to have to play at a higher level more consistently. I think that is a very valid point. And right now, he has not been as consistent. His Minnesota game, he didn't play well for really again, that stat just blew my mind. In the middle of the third quarter, I think it was 68 yards passing in an NFL game. Ugh. So, yeah, I think Jordan will have to be more consistent, and that's part of the growing up process. But if this team's going to go on a run, I'm not saying he needs to be Rodgers good against the Falcons because that was all worldly in 2011. Mm-hmm. But I do think he's going to have to be better than what he's been against in the big boy games this year. And it really is not that he hasn't had great spells. You can't have empty possessions as many in a row as we've seen in the big games. And that's something that I think it will be a big talking point all next week. Rex Ryan just kind of got it started a week early.
Yeah, I thought he made a really good point. And the fact of the matter is that Jordan Love has played really well at different points in the season. Lots of different points in the season, frankly. It is interesting, though, that the people that were part of the sports media commentary industrial complex, it's interesting.
What's the acronym on that?
I don't know. You're the acronym guy. I'm apparently the new headline guy. You're the acronym guy. The fact of the matter is that the same people that were building him up all offseason are now having to acknowledge, or at least should be acknowledging, that they maybe got a little ahead of their skis on him. And I don't hear a lot of acknowledgement of that coming from some folks that were touting him as an MVP candidate, etc. It is a process. And Jordan Love is going through that process. And with 19 games of film, defensive coordinators did a better job against him. They made it more difficult. I don't question whether he's a good quarterback. I question whether we anointed him a little bit prematurely in some precincts. Whoa, Nelly.
Too big of a crowning. Interesting.
Whoa, Nelly!
All right, more audio that Tausch passed along. This was from Deebo Samuel joining the St. Brown podcast. Asked about losing the Super Bowl and the climb that follows.
Losing the Super Bowl, bro, like, it puts you in depression. Like, bro, you go months without, like, talking to people, want to be seen. Like, bro, when I lost the Super Bowl, bro, I stayed in Vegas and hopped on I got on a Sprinter going back home. Bro, like, losing Super Bowl, like, that's one of the worst feelings, like, ever. You just think about it. Like, think about it in our position. Like, bro, we just went through camp. We just went through the whole season. We got here. We lose. Now you back to work in 3 weeks. And you about to do it all over again. So it's just like, God, like, bro, lose the Super Bowl, crazy. I lost the Super Bowl twice to the same team.
That's Deebo Samuel of the San Francisco 49ers on the St. Brown podcast. Tausch, what stood out to you from that clip?
He's stealing Tausch's materials. What stood out to me?
Maybe I'm not going to sit here and pat me on the back.
Yeah.
You pat
Tausch
me
nailed
on the back
it.
because I'm not going to do it myself.
Thank you. That's how it should work. You should have other people, which was what I was trying to do. Tausch nailed this. The graphics that Greg provided for us to accompany Tausch's great point, it is climbing Everest. And you end up back at the bottom, and you're like, ugh, it's such a long, arduous climb to get to the mountaintop, and then to be knocked off by that damn Patrick Mahomes both times. It's funny, I believe, correct me if I'm wrong on this, under Kyle Shanahan, they have made the playoffs every year except for the 2 years after they lost the Super Bowl.
Interesting.
That is interesting.
Great
so
nugget,
great job,
Jason.
Tausch.
It's a great
Well done.
nugget. Thanks.
Yeah.
Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
Last one.
Wait, we just got that in just so I could tell you how great your point was?
Yep, that was exactly what we did there.
Well,
I had a
Jason,
feeling.
I just think a lot of people were criticizing me when I was saying that San Fran was going to fall off a cliff.
So,
and that they weren't
all right,
right.
so let me. I actually did have a follow-up question because you know that's my specialty.
Yep.
Look,
Except
they
for
were
immunizations, yes. I agree.
They were devastated by injuries. There's no doubt about it.
Not
right?
like Detroit.
Not like Detroit, but you know they have had more than their share of injuries. I don't think they were going back to the Super Bowl. My question about them moving forward is, I thought they were a playoff team and probably not getting back to the Super Bowl. They have a lot of older players on their team. Ding dong, is the wicked San Francisco witch dead if you're a Packers fan? Are they going to have to go through a rebuild now? Or do you think they hit the reset button, they add some pieces, and then they're back to being a thorn in the Packers' side in 2025?
This group, Trent Williams, McCaffrey, Debo.
Kittle is not young anymore.
Kittle's getting older. I don't know what they're going to do with Purdy. I think Freddie Varner's still a great player. He's going to be fine. I don't know with Greenlaw. I think he's probably So this version, but if you doubt Kyle Shanahan and what he does, I think you're crazy. Kyle Shanahan's a good coach. They'll figure it out, but it's going to be with a different cast of characters than what this group that has given Green Bay fans a lot of pain. I think that core, it's going to be moved along.
Whoa, Nelly.
Whoa, Nelly!
I guess last one, since I want to make sure.
Where'd the music go?
We had too much time. It ran out already. We're not used to going this long in this segment.
Oh.
Cheers to 2025. Tausch, Saquon Barkley is sitting out against the Giants on Sunday with a chance to break Eric Dickerson's record. How do you feel about that decision for the Philadelphia Eagles?
Too bad, because
running
Brett
back?
Favre was going to give him the record if he played.
Oh, burn. I don't like it. And I think the clip I sent you was the point of we've gotten so championship crazy that we're forgetting and leaving out and losing great moments because everything, and I get it. If you don't get a championship, it's disappointing. Completely agree. But there are all these other moments now that potentially it meant a lot to me, to Mac, to Casey Robach, to that whole crew when Ron Dane broke the record and won the Heisman Trophy. It was a team goal that we established, and we were able to accomplish it. And all of us wear our 71 whatever number. I don't even know what number it is. But that sweatshirt and the stuff, because it still means a lot to us. This record would mean a lot to Saquon, but it would mean even more to his guys up front. And I know they want to stay healthy and want to be able to beat the Packers in the playoffs next week. But I do feel like we're losing out on some things that are great in themselves because everything is now rest and so afraid of criticism of getting hurt and doing it that we forget about some of these other moments that could occur. That's the reality of the world we live in, and I'm not going to tell you it's crazy. I feel a little nostalgic in that we're missing out on some things, and I would bet Saquon and his crew, when they get knocked off by the Packers, you're going to look back and say, dang, we should have at least gotten that record, because that would be something cool and memorable and historical that goes along with it.
I think it's pretty cool that as bad as I wanted the record, the linemen wanted it too, Barkley said. My name would be the one in there in the history books, but they, meaning the offensive line, would have been the ones that would have done it for me.
Mm-hmm.
So it's your point. Now, again,
I'll tell you what, I like Saquon. He seems to just get it.
He does.
He gets
There's
it.
No doubt about it. That said, I'd be curious if you were Nick Sirianni. We started the show making you Matt LaFleur. Now I'm going to make you Nick Sirianni. Once you ask Saquon Barkley, look, what do you want to do? I'm willing to take on the risk if you want to go for the record. Could you get a 98-yard run early? What would you do?
Especially, you're playing against your former team with the Giants.
Correct.
You could shove it up there, blanks. Like, the players are always going to want to play, and I would do it. I think there are some things that are really important to guys, and this is one of those things. So I'm telling you, I think when Green Bay goes into Philly and beats them in that first round, they're going to look back and say, we did all that to get knocked out in the first round. Now, if Saquon gets hurt or Lane Johnson gets hurt, shame on us for doing it. That's
right.
The tricky part of this whole deal. But I'm telling you, I think you always want to go down swinging rather than not, and we'll see how it all shakes out. It could be that Philly is healthy and they end up smoking Green Bay in the first round. That could happen too. But if Philly doesn't win a championship, they're going to be looking back and saying, man, we did all this. We climbed that mountain. You're basically climbing Mount Everest from the rushing record. You have the flag in hand, and you decide to turn it into a javelin and fire it back down the hill. I would like to stick it up there and let people see it and say, man, we earned this. And then walk down that hill in a nice, orderly fashion.
Tausch, if it's 0.5 yards for Saquon Barkley on
better go less.
You better go less.
Better go less. I don't know with Jordan Love. I don't know all of the other opportunities that you'll have with Prize Picks, but it is fun. You pick more or less on at least two players, shot to win a lot of cash. It's up to 100 times your cash. Prize Picks is the only real money daily fantasy platform with injury insurance. And also, I love the fact that we have all these great sports opinions. Everybody does. People call in, turn it into cash. You have those strong convictions. Let's do it. Prize Picks puts their members first. All of the withdrawals are fast, safe, and secure, and you get it in as quick as 15 minutes. Again, download that app today. Use code WI. You get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Again, code WI to get $50 instantly after you play your first $5 lineup. Prize Picks.
Run
your
game. We'll wrap things up next. It's Wilde and Tausch.
Summer will sound a little different on ESPN Madison next year.
Get up! Get out of here! Gone for Jackson Chorio!
This is Madison's new home of the Milwaukee Brewers, 100.5 ESPN.
Hey, it's Jesse Nelson to tell you about Madison Weight Loss. It is 2025, and as we turn to the new calendar year, of course, everybody's thinking about ways that you can be more healthy in the new year. A lot of that includes losing weight. Well, do it the natural, healthy way by simply changing up your diet with the expert coaching and guidance from the team at Madison Weight Loss. That's what I did from August to October, and I was able to drop in 60 days 40 pounds of unnecessary, unwanted fat. All I had to do was change what I eat. Didn't have to do an intense workout regimen. Didn't have to do any injections or anything crazy. All it was changing up the diet. I never knew it was that easy and that possible to lose that much weight and to do it in the natural, healthy way. And I was able to find the results and more that I was looking for thanks to the team at Madison Weight Loss. Contact the team at MadisonWeightLoss.com. That's where you can schedule a free consultation, either in person or virtually, and you can learn all about what the program entails and see if it's right for you. MadisonWeightLoss.com is where you can schedule that free consultation in person or virtually. 2025, make it the year of healthy weight loss with the team at Madison Weight Loss. Check it out, MadisonWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin present your Badger Minute. Here's Pablo Iglesias.
This Badger Minute brought to you by the Great Dane Pub and Brewing Company, Madison's home for craft beer and pub food since 1994. Find the Great Dane nearest you and check out the menu at greatdanepub.com. New year, new challenge. Top-ranked Wisconsin women's hockey facing second-ranked Ohio State to begin 2025. A Thursday night game in Madison, followed by a Saturday afternoon showdown in Chicago at Wrigley Field. Forward Layla Edwards on the upcoming battle with the Buckeyes.
They always are one of the toughest teams to play against, so it'll be a good test to see how we can handle playing against such a good team coming off a break and then in Wrigley Field. We'll learn a lot from it and use it to advance after.
7 p.m. puck drop on Thursday, 4:30 on Saturday.
Pella can make your home as beautiful on the outside as it is comfortable on the inside. Celebrate the new year with 0% interest for up to 3 years at PellaWI.com.
Metro Ford of Madison is Madison's trusted Ford dealership. Whether you're in the market for a new or new-to-you vehicle, Metro Ford of Madison has the customer service that's second to none. Metro Ford is also the home of the 2 years no-charge maintenance offer on new vehicle purchases, making it the place to go for the new Ford of your dreams. Browse their inventory, schedule a service, or see this month's offers at MetroFordofMadison.com. That's MetroFordofMadison.com.
Coors Light presents To Chill or Not to Chill. When your friend skips your favorite song on the playlist. End the friendship. Or choose chill because that song lives rent-free in your head anyway. And you planned ahead by bringing Coors Light to the party. And the sound of that ice-cold can cracking open was music to your ears already. Coors Light. Choose chill. Celebrate responsibly. 2024 Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
Mark Tusher here for Chalmers Jewelers. I've been a big fan of Scott, Garrett, and the whole team at Chalmers Jewelers for years now. I go there, my friends go there, and most importantly, my wife loves it whenever I get her something from Chalmers Jewelers. It's my go-to spot for birthdays, anniversaries, and any special occasion. For quality jewelry and a great experience, choose Chalmers Jewelers, the place to go for that perfect gift. Stop at Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton and Madison.
Chalmers Jewelers in Middleton
and Madison.
When you're in the right place at the right time, things get done. The important things, like knowing what you need and how it all works. Talking truck. Fixing it right the first time. At Zimbrick Chevrolet, our people get it done right and now. That's how you know you're in the right place at the right time. And you'll never overpay at Zimbrick Chevrolet.
We're on the Packers playoff push.
They are not the regular season juggernaut team that we've seen in the past.
Because we're on Wisconsin sports.
A lot of regular season juggernaut teams fell short of their goals.
This is 100.5 ESPN and Wisconsin On Demand.
This ain't a good time, but when is it ever? I know the perfect time, and maybe that's never. So don't you dare.
All right, we're almost out of time. Tausch will be traveling back home tomorrow from his undisclosed location. So we will have...
I'm going to miss that lampshade.
And that painting and the reflection.
Nice painting.
It was great to have you for the entire show and not have you go Megatron on us. But we will have...
the Wi-Fi is a smart move.
You would think.
I don't know if that's something new or
here we
whatever,
are.
But
we'll have Brian Bulaga as our cousin sub of the day. We'll get to talk to Rob Domofsky as well. Tausch, we wish you safe travels. Did you want to get your Steinhoffel sleeper of the weekend before we run out of show?
I'm not asking him.
No, you got to say it on the show when you have the chance.
JJ Enigbare, and I also tweeted it not right before the game, and all the lineup and inactives are picked like the
not
team
after
asks.
breakfast.
I did it 3 days
tomorrow,
early.
not after breakfast.
Thank you, Warden, for that. So yes, and I just want to make sure, because I know the Academy feels slighted a little bit from Jason. I want to thank the Academy as well, and I also want to make sure the 565 Collective team, which does a ton of great work, knows that they're loved by at least one person on this.
You should. All these people you mentioned do all your work for you. You should be thanking them.
And allow you to bully them into siding with you on everything.
Nobody's bullied anybody. If anybody's been the bully, it's been you two knuckleheads, and you know that.
Safe travels home. We care about you, even though you're a knob. That's it for us today. We'll do it again tomorrow without Old Boy. Have a great day. Take care. Be good.
Miss any of today's episode of Wilde and Tausch? Presented by Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin?